tanks. My name's Hank. My booty hole stank.
Don't say that. Don't say that. They're
They're gonna love it. It's unconventional.
No. What are you
It's my new character. It's Hank. Tanks. My name's Hank. My booty hole stank.
That's stupid. It doesn't even make any sense. It doesn't even a commercial for Tank America. The booty hole stink.
No, stank.
Okay,
it's stink, you idiot. You fucked it all up now. Now we can't use it because you had said stink.
Anyway, Tank America. It's in Melbourne, and they have the Tom and Dan package, which basically you save $100 and you get to come in and watch a show with your friends. So basically, if this is a cool birthday present for a wife looking to get her husband
Bachelor
wife
party, bachelorette party.
Yeah.
If you like, you know what I was thinking?
Maybe you got teenage kids that
Father's Day.
Oh,
dude, this is the ultimate Father's Day gift. It's like, oh, Dad, guess where we're going? I know, Olive Garden again. Nope, we're not doing that. I'm going to take you on the terrain course. I'm going to let you crush a car. And then maybe we'll do some tactical laser tag afterwards. Do you want to make your dad happy? And it's not just for dads. Ladies, if you want to have... I can only imagine my wife and some of the gals listening to Lizzo in the tank and driving to the mud hole. Be awesome.
And speaking of that birthday present or whatever present, you also get to come in here with your group that you crushed the cars with and did the tank experience into the studio, have some White Claws with us, and watch a Friday free show.
Yes, sir.
It's all included in the Tom and Dan package, but you have to call Tank America. It's tankamerica.com, 321-241-1122. Ask for the Tom and Dan package, but they have like the tactical laser tag and a bunch of really cool things at Tank America. It's in Melbourne again, and just go on the website, check it out.
You'll love it.
Yeah, tankamerica.com.
Live from the Streamline Mortgage Solutions studio, it's Orlando's own Tom and Dan.
Whoopee!
Hello, this is your Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan program. We hope that you will find our presentation precise, joke heavy, and just right. Thanks.
Show number 538.
It is another A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
Tom.
Samantha is here, our producer. Hello, Sam.
Hello.
Butler is here, holding down the couch with a weed shirt on. That little old ladies in this neighborhood have been stink-eyeing him and eyeballing him all day. The man who eats more ass and does more karate than anyone I know, Mr. Seth Petruzzelli's here on news.
Or as somebody in the BDM group said, he'll beat your ass, he'll eat your ass.
Yeah,
Seth
beating and eating, Seth Petruzzelli.
I mean, back in the day, in the old days, that's what you would do. Like, you'd beat a guy and prove your manhood, you'd probably end up fucking him or something like that.
No,
like,
all right.
like that's like your alphaness.
All right. We're about a minute in, guys.
All right,
Hold on tight. Hold on tight. It's coming. Today, Seth talks about how he fucks guys after kicking their ass.
I don't, but back in the day, I'm sure that's how you proved your alpha stance.
I've never seen Braveheart or butt-fucking an English soldier.
If you do think about it, it is the most, talk about humiliation. I mean, if Butler and I got into a fight and I want to really get him good, I beat him up and then I start fucking him.
It is the ultimate... I guess
power move.
Power move. Yeah.
I just figured you'd have the cleanest ass.
I'm getting flashbacks of watching Deliverance.
That was a selfish decision on my part.
Or it's an excuse to fuck a dude. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that's what it really boils down to.
Yeah.
That's what any excuse to fuck a dude. That's what I say.
You know what shows my dominance? I'm sucking this guy's dick.
Look at this. Look how dominant I am.
That's him dominating you.
Anyway, welcome to the show. Everybody watching on Twitch, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Real quick, we got anything to dilly-dally on real quick before we start
I'll just plug
dancing and prancing?
I'll plug our 10-year anniversary again. It's October 5th. It's downtown Wall Street. We have a ton of things going on. So basically, the plan is we're doing a BDM only pre-party. All the BDMs will get the invite soon and all the details. I'm not going to say it on the show because it's for BDMs only. You get to bring a guest. But for our 10-year anniversary, we are literally doing the most we've ever done as far as we're putting together 500 gift bags for all the first 500 BDMs. You get to bring a guest.
You guys have wanted bags? Well, guess what? You're getting some fucking bags.
Yeah, this way you won't lose your merch this year.
Absolutely. Don't lose your merch.
Hopefully. Keep your backpack on.
Yeah, you won't drop your glass, your glasses, your drink ticket, whatever.
But in the gift bags, we are stocking it full of as much stuff from sponsors, as much free things, cool takeaways as we can. We've been working on it all week. We've ordered a ton of stuff. We're still trying to get some last-minute items from some sponsors. We'll let you know all about that, and all the BDMs know about that. But then,
does the Jungle want to put something in there?
No, but I will personally put in, for all 500 gift bags, a dip spit bucket, so that way all you tobacco sucking fuckers.
Great job, Seth.
When you see Seth will be doing something at the show when he's on stage.
Yes,
throw your spit bucket at him.
Yeah.
Well, we'll be up there too, so I'll just.
We'll put.
I'll be on the sidelines for that.
My
As long as
God.
it doesn't end up in my face again. We're good.
So, speaking of that, we got a little thing we're going to do before the mood designers go on. But when the mood designers...
Tom and I are gonna butt fuck.
yeah.
He's gonna finally express his dominance.
So going,
But he is gonna suck my dick. That's the trade-off.
I was thinking about this the other day, and me and Daniel were
You have
talking
a piece
about
of food on your lip. I can't take you seriously.
Damn it!
Yeah, what are you
Pinwheel?
doing? Yeah, it's a
you got
pinwheel.
it, that's fine.
You blew a pinwheel out of your mouth.
So me and Daniel were talking about this week because anyway, we went and did Jimmy's show on Wednesday,
Yeah.
which is cool. They Jimmy asked us last week.
The
he's
Jim
like,
Colbert Show with Deb Roberts
Yeah.
and Ross Padgett and Jack Bradshaw.
Yes, and Jimmy's like, hey, you want to come be guest while I'm gone? We're like, yeah, sure. And we went and did the show. And Deborah Roberts, Jack, Ross.
They're awesome.
Super, great time.
I love them.
But
We're going to have Deb in here for a chat with the Masters.
Oh, yeah.
We're setting that up. 'Cause she got some stories.
Yeah.
Like that will burn your fucking eyebrows off. Like shit I don't even want to
Yeah,
tell because I don't even know if I can. But she was name dropping and it's bad shit she was saying. And woo!
Imagine.
Really bad. Like imagine being a woman
Yeah,
in
intern-
radio
Yeah.
in the early 90s. My fucking God, you were abused.
Yeah.
Oh
Like
my God.
Anchorman style.
It works.
No, you don't even know.
Yeah.
More like
yeah.
well, yeah, but worse.
But real life.
It's
Yeah, but worse. I can't even say it.
It's everything a radio intern gets mixed in with sexual harassment.
yeah.
Extreme
And
sexual
a lot
harassment.
of pee-pee. A lot of pee-pee.
How many? You know what's like? It's the.
I don't want to lose sight of where you were going with
I
this,
know, yeah,
but because we can
what
have
Deb
Deb in
told us
here.
it-
Yeah, but I was like, can you tell these stories? She's like, fuck yeah, I can't. Look, she's cool,
The
man.
worst-
Deb is cool.
I believe the worst. I mean, the worst sexual harassment and that kind of thing happened in the entertainment industry. I think.
I mean, it happens everywhere.
It
It
still
does happen
happens, yeah.
everywhere, but in the entertainment industry, for some reason, it's fucking
Well, you know why? Because I think
bananas.
when the drive to get in and get your foot in the door in the entertainment industry, I mean, we've all had it, right? Like everybody here is in the entertainment industry in one aspect or the other. And when you have your mindset of like, hey, I want to get into this industry, you're like, I'll do whatever it takes, So when you say that to you in your mind, and a lot of times you have to because it's so hard to break into. Like everybody wants to do it because there's a certain allure that comes with any entertainment. Like I don't know what it is, like whatever that personality
Also
trait.
fueling your ego and
even
believing your own fucking hype.
like entertain. Like
Oh, by the way, that particular Jim Colbert show on Google Podcast was 159 minutes.
Yeah.
really, Jack did that. On
And you
purpose.
guys were there on 9/11. Never forget.
Yeah.
Oh, we
Which
did
I
that on
thought was-
purpose.
Was odd.
Yeah. Shout out to Granny Beth for making me laugh my ass off when she was some gave all gave some, and
But
so I don't know. I'm sorry, lady. I got laugh.
And I got rum. Like,
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
That doesn't.
Deborah Roberts. Shit, I saw it happen with Tiffany. Like you when you see typically women that get in the entertainment industry, especially in a guy,
Locker room talk.
Place, it gets bad.
Oh,
Like, you're
bad,
like, whoa,
yeah.
and then they get away with it because usually the person doesn't want to complain or stir up a stink because they're afraid that it's going to affect their career and whatever. So they just take it because they're like, fuck, if I just get through this next part, and it's fucked up. It's real bad.
Yeah, it's like how Weinstein got away with that shit for so long.
Yeah, it's real bad. Also, there's some comedy in it. I won't lie. If you just like, step away, Deborah's, Deb laughed at how bad it was. That's the only reason. And no, I don't think what happened is funny, but the whole situation
it's just absurd.
Is absurd, and that's the only reason. We'll have her on to talk about it
for sure.
But that leads me to talk about our 10-year and why we do it, because I started thinking about this, because every time me and Daniel go in and have any sort of brush in with any like corporate radio or any corporation or whatever, it immediately reminds us of how much better it is that we have this. And honestly, like, it makes you really, really appreciate every single person that listens to the show, because they don't have to, and there's a lot of stuff to listen to.
Oh yeah,
and
man.
they can listen to anything they want.
Now is the best
millions
time
of
as
hours.
a consumer, like as Bart Merrick and Crystal Van of the Bart Merrick team would say, a buyer and seller's market, right?
Yeah.
Right now is a consumer's market. If you want a podcast on anything, it's fucking there, man.
Yeah. So
on anything,
there's more options than ever. Me and Daniel never look at as a competition. We like all the options because it's better for everybody.
Sure.
But we are
competing against everybody.
Yeah,
including TV, including YouTube.
There's So the fact that you're even taking the time to listen to us, I'm telling you, I 100% really, really appreciate it, and it's the only reason that we can even do this.
I 102%.
Yeah, and I know it's the cliche to say, but I really started appreciating the fact that
I appreciate it more.
We have this community, because if not, we would be back probably working for a corporation. And
it was hard to get.
I hate it.
It was hard to get things moving too, because the segments are so small. You know, like in here, we can actually like kind of take our time, and it's man, in there, it's like, you get between 9 and like 12 minutes to get something rolling. By the time you get something rolling, you're at the 9-minute mark. You've got 3 more minutes, but you need to take a minute of that to plug what's coming up next.
Yeah, and it's just the process, and it's just how that entertainment industry is, and I love everybody, all our friends on the radio and everything, but it did remind me. I was like, oh man, thank God we could do this on our own. And
wait a minute, bro.
What?
Your son's been rubbing off on you?
It's just
thank God, huh?
It's just a saying.
We're having a fake black god.
Yeah, I saw him praying over his pinwheels out there.
Turn me religious.
Oh, dear God, thank you so much for these pinwheels and this one too. Hot sauce I'll put on top of it, and then I'm going to put this tortilla is going to be stuck in my teeth, and later I'm going to spit it on my microphone.
But
man.
With that being said, then we were thinking about like why we do, like we tend to always want to do our events free, and people tell us all the time, they're like, hey, if you charge tickets, we'd pay. We're not poor.
Our listeners tell us that, the BDMs tell us that, club owners tell us that, venue managers tell us that, but it's not what we have ever done.
We always gravitate away from charging, even though people tell us like, hey, we'll pay, it's fine, like we have $20 a ticket, like, and then we're like, God damn it, we hate, because all I think about, like, our events, and this is what sets us apart from corporations, we don't have to make money during our events. In fact, we spend money to put on events.
Yeah, we're going to spend a bunch of money on this one.
Now, luckily, we
already are.
We have great sponsors and stuff to help us put on these events.
They underwrite some of the costs, sure.
And then we take that sponsorship money and just put it directly back into the event, but it ends up costing us money for everything. But the reason why is because we have the ability to put on events and give as much free stuff to the people that support us as possible, and I'd rather do that all day long than do anything else or charge tickets or charge anybody that supports us, because I really feel like these events are for the listeners, and they're almost like, hey,
like a thank you
an appreciation of like, hey, thanks for supporting us, this is for you guys, we'll give you as much as we possibly can, and we'll get the sponsors to give you guys as much as they possibly can because you support them as well, and that's how me and Daniel always looked at it, and we'll always look at it. And there's no reason for us to make $1 off any events. I guess the reason would be to make money, but it just doesn't make any sense.
A good reason would be to pay your talent.
Well, I mean, it's supposed to be.
I paid everybody but you, Seth. You get paid in airtime. Look at it,
Yeah.
This is done.
How many people?
This has done wonders for me. So
Our listeners are workout freaks.
Yeah.
And,
It's not our fault that your karate's not up to par.
it would be more
I
advantageous.
draw the line right there.
I'm going to end up getting my head kicked off for the first time ever.
Make fun of anything you want.
Not by karate.
They're probably local.
Oh, we found his weakness.
I know. Well, there's a lot of weaknesses there. It's just not anything physical. He's in perfect health. You get up here.
His brain looks like my legs.
Last MRI was good.
And that was yesterday.
No, I'm due this year.
Yeah, I'm ready too. I got to get an ultrasound.
You want to go? Maybe the 2-for-1 special, to be honest.
Yeah. Well,
They have
69.
a 2-for-1 special.
If I go there, if it's self-pay, they guarantee.
Let's 69 through the tube. I'll eat your butt in the tube.
So imagine the images of that. That'd be amazing.
It would be
I'd pull it
pretty
up
cool.
poster size.
I bet nobody's done that.
Yeah.
So, speaking of, this happened. Going into the Jim Colbert show on Wednesday, we had a long recording day. Like we started at 10.
I started going bonkers.
And we literally recorded all the way up until literally we had to leave and have Butler lock up so that we can haul ass over to the station and then record from 3 to 7.
Whose idea was that? Because not a detailed guy.
To be fair, I stayed back with him, and we did both walk out, and then he turned right around. He's like, "Oh, forgot to set the alarm."
You're right. Should have
I was fine. He remembered.
You guys are heroes.
So anyway, I didn't eat very much all day, and then we did the show and we're recording or whatever. So when I got home, immediately my wife had ordered pizza for the family, and she
Nice.
ordered me like a large thin crust pizza myself.
Well, where from?
I think Domino's or some shit.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I've been eating pretty clean lately. So so I get home. I was like recording all day. I'm mentally fatigued and whatever. Take some THC. Kicks in.
If that kicks in, you might rip through that pizza, dude. And you're not used to that.
Ate it all, 100% of it. So
Oh, no.
I
Sweet
immediately
beans.
That's so easy to get through.
Tom did
They're like
a
kind of pizza.
shit.
Yeah,
Tom
but-
shit up the bathroom this morning where it smelled like a combination of what did I tell you? It smelled like
Something
It smelled
in
like-
chocolate chips,
It smelled
I
like
heard.
fresh baked peanut butter cookies and tires, like mixed together. It's like that's why we call them sweet beans because his shit smelled like a combination of steakhouse baked beans with a lot of sugar on top of
I
them.
could kind of get into that smell.
Well,
So it's like a-
found your
It's in
next.
there, it's in there
Yeah,
itself.
jump in there.
So
Go lick the walls.
So nothing happened that night, Wednesday night. but,
time bomb.
Thursday morning. Okay,
Domino's
so,
time bomb.
I wake up usually, I was stressed out late, getting the kids,
What was
lunch
on their
together.
yeah? What was their gourmet lunch that day?
That was
You're
two
making
Uncrustables.
fajitas.
No. that
He's literally this guy's fucking cooks his ass off for his boy.
I lazy parent 2 Uncrustables and
That's
cheese
the way you're
sticks.
supposed
or
to do
whatever.
it. Take them out of the bag so it looks like you made them.
Yeah. And so I'm doing all that where I'm trying to get Tommy to school. So every day I take Tommy, I drop him off, and then there's Tommy's school starts at 8:30. Max's pre-K starts at 9.
Perfect.
But there's time in between because it's not that far away.
Uh-oh.
So every day you probably noticed I haven't been bringing my smoothies in here.
I noticed, but I thought that was because I did get an email from your smoothie boy Dante. Are we going to talk about that today?
No, but we can. I'm going
Well,
to
ex-smoothie
do a
boy.
presentation at Rollins College on Monday.
What?
Okay, pause for 1 second. I know we're tangenting.
Why are you
Tom
laughing?
Smoothie
Why
Boy.
you think I can't do a presentation?
Tom Smoothie Boy, Dante the Smoothie Boy, emailed me. Actually, hit me up on Twitter, and I gave him my email address or your email address.
Yeah.
And he said, "I need to get a hold of Tom. I love Tom. He
I
knows.
thought you exchanged numbers on his last day.
He knows me well. He
I think I gave him
said
50.
Tom and I used to always talk about
I don't
sports,
know.
and I need a true gambling professional and somebody that's in that world to come in and do a presentation at Rollins College. So Tom and his this is very Kevin
Oh, yeah,
Spacey-ish.
listen to my week 1 picks.
Yeah, those are
Oh,
bad.
Juan wants wants to know where because he's going to swing by for it.
I think he should stream this.
Oh, yeah, Twitch.
Yeah, we could Twitch the
Twitch stream
presentation.
this presentation, Juan.
That's a good idea, Butler.
You're also not a professional.
Well, not according to Dante the Smoothie Boy.
What have you been telling the Smoothie Boy?
Well, here's
He
the
fills
thing.
it full of lies so he could eat his butt. You're just trying to Kevin Spacey and put your hand down his pants.
I don't know what building it is. I'm meeting him at Burger Fight. He's
I know.
Oh, you got a date beforehand.
Then you guys are both going to take ecstasy.
No, he's going to usher me in on a golf cart or something to the to give my presentation, and I don't even know what it's about. All I know is it has something to do with gambling and something long explanation.
Do
Don't even know.
Do you have your PowerPoint presentation ready?
He said that it's short and
You're just gonna go wing it? Like just
yeah.
That's not like you, man. I'm
maybe he
surprised you're
loves-
not nervous at all about this.
No, well, because I imagine, listen, a bunch of college kids, some old man talking about sports gambling,
Ooh, college kids.
Plus,
All right.
I assume that they don't know. And I'm going in full Michael Scott. I'm going to start telling them. They're like a
Hey,
paper.
Mr. Van, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? Make our dreams come true. Yeah, next thing you know, you're promising them all laptop batteries.
I'm telling them the paper will never go out of style. They're all typing it, like that kind of shit. I'm telling them about old school trends.
I hope we do that thing where you walk around like the teacher and you're like, "What?" Write that down. Is write that down. Gambling. Write that down. And you're just pacing back and forth, like thinking and stroking an imaginary beard.
Dante's like, I'm sorry. And to his group. And
Your
they're like-
THC kicks in at that time. You're like, ah.
Because for sure he convinced his group that he knew this like celebrity into sports gambling, and it was the House of Cards.
Yeah. Well, House of Cards, all right.
It's just an
I
elaborate
know what
intervention.
you're thinking. Tom, get up there and start washing a turkey like Kevin Spacey.
By the way, if it was about like podcasting, I refuse to do it. I talk about that shit too much. Anyway, back to
bubble guts from your whole large pizza.
So the reason I haven't been bringing my smoothies in because now I make this daily thing where me and Max I do a little bonding thing. Usually it's me, Tommy, and Max everywhere. Tommy and Max are always together. Never get a one-on-one time with Max. So this is our little one-on-one time.
What about Tommy? He's not getting any one-on-one with
Well,
Daddy.
he's the older one. I feel like he
I'm going to tell him. I'm gonna be like, hey, what's up with your dad taking Max everywhere? That's weird. Maybe he loves him more.
Tommy gets a lot of time, and plus since he's the first one, it's just I feel like the second one.
He was doted on a lot more. Max is kind of like, you guys know what you're doing. I get it.
So we go and get a smoothie together every morning.
Oh, nice.
And so that's our little bonding experience.
What kind of smoothie does Max get?
He's usually Captain Kidd type of boy.
Yeah.
And he chose a dragon fruit pineapple something.
Wow.
Which I think he was disgusting, but he just told me, I'm like, do you like it? Because I saw in his face of the disgust.
Pungent.
And then he was like, yeah. So he just
Dare
He's the little me. He just tells people what they want to hear.
take away my one-on-one time, Daddy.
He's part of me. This goes to a little bit of what we're going to talk about later.
We'll talk about my daughter.
But he just tells anybody what they want to hear. So, okay. So when I have this routine in the morning that when I drink my smoothie, I take my Adderall, to remind me, here's, what are you?
I don't know. I didn't know that about you.
what
You didn't know he was on
You're
Adderall?
fucked up than I tell you.
just a little bit of amphetamine. Everybody should take it.
It's a great mix with THC. And the uppers, the downers.
Yeah, that's what I do.
The sodas, the sugars,
10
the pizza.
Amphetamine, salt, and THC can't go wrong. So anyway, when I did that, it caused a chemical reaction. The Adderall, because it's just amphetamine salt. It was like boom, and it went down there, and then mixed with a little bit of peanut butter power up.
Peanut butter power.
And then I was like,
That sounds good.
It does.
and immediately
When you shit your pants and it blasted you off the chair. That's what it looked like. It looked like you shit yourself into the air.
No, I that was me planking in traffic.
Yeah. Sometimes I have to do that in here. It's a good thing that this isn't solid here, because sometimes I'll be sitting here editing and I'll just have to turn and go, hey, and straighten out my legs.
The butt squeeze?
Yeah.
I'm going to straighten my legs out to give my intestines, give them
Flex
more.
your colon. That's what does it.
Also, hard to do in a stick WRX too. Because
It's hard to shift. It's hard to shift.
So, and for whatever reason, going down the street.
What do you do with Max when you got to take a shit?
I almost
do you bring
turned
him in there with him?
I almost turned around back to my house and just said, Max, you're going to be late to school today. I was like, oh, fuck it, it's pre-K. But I was like, shit, if I turn around, go back to the house, get him out, then get back. Like,
it's a mess.
I was looking about how much of a pain in the ass it is, and then I was weighing the options.
Well, just getting a kid in and out of a
I'm a gambler.
Just getting in and out of a car seat with a child one time is hard. You know, it's not easy.
You think of how many Shark Week stories I heard that I would not be a gambler so much I was sharding. I've literally heard hundreds of stories of people shitting their pants, still willing to push the limit. Anyway, that's part of my mentality.
Every single pair of underwear I own, every pair has been shitting.
So the wave came strong, and then it went away, and then I was expecting it to come back.
Well, the second one's always worse.
Yeah. And that's
like contractions.
So I was like, well, if I can make it to the Max's pre-K, which is like a church, whatever.
I can shit in the bushes.
No, I was like, I bet there's a bathroom there somewhere, and then I'll just go in there and I'll just tell Max has to use the bathroom or whatever, because it's happened before.
Well, why wouldn't you just say, may I use your restroom? Why do you got to blame it on Max?
I have a weird about people telling. Yeah. I don't want people thinking that I'm shitting up their bathroom. It's a weird thing. I don't.
Yeah, but you are.
I know. I don't like. It's embarrassing.
And you're not going to look them in the eye and be like, "Excuse me, while I shit up your bathroom." You're going to go, "May I use your restroom?" Everybody poops and pees. I think we all kind of get it.
But for whatever reason, Tommy's like this. Tommy refuses to poop in SBKs like that. There's something that you're born with.
I like pooping in new places.
I don't like it. I don't like pooping in public. I will
not in public. I mean, you're in a bathroom. You're not in public. Pooping in public is
outside
a little
of my
house. I draw the line there.
I'll do it, but anyway. So
I would do it in a Bang Bros glass box that's one way. Like if I,
you have to look.
They can't see me, but I can see everybody outside. But it would be off-putting.
So
it'd be hard to get it moving at first. I feel like
I pull up to.
Did you unplug your mic? You did. Let's turn it off.
And
here, do you want me to plug it in for you? Yeah, there you go. Hold on. There you go.
So I pull up to the church, and then we're a little bit early, and then I feel it, like it's starting to come back. Right?
I can feel it,
and I'm like, all right, I'm good. I've made it here, and then I'm sure I could use the bathroom in there. So I'm like, let's go, Max. I'm like, I pull him out. We're walking, and
are you walking weird?
Yeah.
Are you walking like Danny DeVito and Batman?
I'm walking like a strong man holding two Africas in the strongman competition.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying? It's like you when you hold two heavy things, you're stiff walking.
It's as if you've got 224 packs of Zephyr Hills and you're walking to the car from Publix.
Yeah.
I got you.
So, and then I walk up, and it's left to drop him off at class, and then right in front of the church is like the public restroom, right? Or at least it's not public, but it's the facilities restaurant. So I go up there, and I'm like, I made it. I'm like, good. And then Max is like, where are we? I'm like, we're just going to go to the bathroom for a second. And then I'm like, ding, 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 ding. It's locked.
No. Yeah, they don't want vagrants in there.
And so I'm like, shit. And then I'm like,
exactly.
And then I start to panic. And then I was like, can I run back, put Max in the car, and drive home? Because at this point, the only other option was to then go into
so
the
it's
school.
Too early to drop him off.
Well, yes, but I could go into the school and start asking, can I use it? I don't want to do any of this. Yeah.
Shit running down your leg.
So I see.
That's a worse scenario.
Yeah.
Tiny shorts.
Yeah. I can't shit my pants in public. I can't.
Imagine how much that would scar him later in life.
No.
What would you do?
It might be worth the story.
Like, what would you do? I don't. First of all, I don't think you'd talk about it on the show. And we're really open about everything. But if you were standing there in, the office, talking to the lady, and then it just started coming down your legs like a marathon runner who's just, whose faculties have...
I do that with pee sometimes. Sometimes
Hold on, this is where I put the camera on you.
You start peeing your pants?
Well, because I have to go, and then it's like at the doctor's office, checking out, something like that, and you really got to go, and I should have went before, and then you hold it.
They have bathrooms there.
I know, but I just don't. I don't.
And then
want
you
to
start
pissing before.
And then I pee. I don't pee the whole way, but I definitely have a good couple quarter.
What? Oh my god!
To release
Butler did that
to release
yesterday.
some. Not on purpose. Kind of it slips, and I'm like,
Y'all
and then I
motherfuckers
squeeze
are
it again.
disgusting. Y'all piss your
can't
pants
help
too
it.
much.
I shook too fast. He's voluntarily just pissing himself.
Not voluntary. I mean, it just slips out.
Well, you had the choice to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, but then I gotta say, hey, excuse me, go to the bathroom.
Well,
Let me stop
that's
this.
what you should go to the doctor for. You should be able to hold your piss.
Well, yeah, I did go to the doctor for that. And
What did he say?
He just said, he's like, everything's fine with you. That's the story where I made him stick his finger up my butt for the prostate check.
He's like, I know what to do.
Because I told him what my issue was.
I'm going to fucking scissor kick your head off.
Just put your fingers upwards on the table. Sit on
Oh my god!
I told him.
aggressively squat on the.
So lay on the ground and put your arms out like an angel, and then put your fingers straight up.
I had my ultrasound and everything.
So I
Hold on, let me use your toes. Take your shoes off.
So then I hear it, and it's the.
When you hear the shit coming out?
No, I hear the leaf blower, which tells me
I don't know
around
what
the
that
corner.
means.
Well,
around the corner, fudge is made.
It's the janitor. He's blowing leaves, and I was like, "Excuse, sir. It's like, is this door locked on purpose?"
Yeah,
he's like,
I locked it.
And so he's like, "Oh yeah, I
in
locked it."
school right now.
He's like, the toilet's broke.
You're shitting your pants, sir.
And I'm like, I was like, okay.
Somebody shit on the sidewalk. Let me blow this shit off with my hot leaf blower. Hard to blow diarrhea.
So I and then I told him, I was like, oh, okay. Well, I said to Max, I was like, well, my son's got to go to the bathroom. He's like, oh, well, there's two toilets in there. There's a kid toilet.
You're gonna shit on the kid toilet?
Please, please, make the story good.
You're lucky that it was Max and not Tommy. Because Tommy would have snitched on you and said that he didn't have to go to the bathroom.
I hope you shit with your knees eye level. Like you're so low. Get low.
It's like a squatty potty.
So
yeah, probably more came out.
Just a great opportunity to blame some bad shit on a kid. Shit everyone.
I told him.
I would 100%.
Goddamn church.
That thing makes even more special.
I shit my pants and then I'm smearing on Max's pants. I'm like, he did.
And then he smeared it on my pants. You motherfucker.
I'm like, Max shit his pants and shit all into my pants.
He even shit into my own butthole. How does that happen?
I tried to catch his shit with my underwear.
My son shit my pants.
So I was like, oh, that's fine because it's just he just needs to use it. And then Max, like, he was trying to say like, I'm fine. I'm like, so I'm slapping his mouth.
Max is like, I do not need to use the restroom.
So he opens.
Ich bin
I
ein
do not have to use the restroom.
So
I do not have to use the potty.
He opens the door and then we go in there and sure enough, there's like caution tape or some sort of tape over
What happened?
the big toilet. I have no idea. But like
Some other fat dad went there and shit it up.
Was there a smoothie cup sitting on the Some other smoothie dad.
But next to
half Trenton smoothie cup in front of the toilet.
like the bathroom size is the size of like handicap bathroom, but there's two toilets in there, like a regular size
Is there
toilet
a divider?
That's
and
weird.
a kid's toilet. No, like and it's I guess because it's like a preschool, so I guess they have a
Like in
adult
in
toilet.
Maisie's class, they don't have an adult toilet.
just
It's all
kids,
tiny potties. So if I had to do something, which there has been times when I've walked her over, I just have to walk back.
So at this point, it was too far gone, and I had to, and I was like, I contemplated leaving Max outside the door, but it's because of the goddamn so much.
No, you
shit.
could have shit in the broken toilet, which is a bad move. It's a bad move for the janitor.
Well, he knew. Like,
Yeah, no, I know, but I mean, it's not like you're going to be going back there. It's not like they're running cameras
He
on
drops
you.
his kids off every day.
I understand that, but I'm just saying you could have. It's a bad move. I'm not endorsing it. I'm just saying you could go like, this is an emergency. I'm about to shit my pants. I'm going to have to use the big toilet, so I don't have to shit with my knees eye level.
So I did what I like to call Big Tim on the cruise.
What is that?
Well, bigger gentleman, tiny toilet.
Oh, yeah.
And then I just let it go, and it was bad. And then
Where was Max at?
Is he in there with you
Just
watching
crying
you?
in the corner.
Did you put him in the corner like in Blair Witch?
I did.
He's out there learning the finer points of leaf blowing with old Willie.
His new dad.
I gave him my phone with Sonic the Hedgehog.
Sonic,
So,
always Sonic.
I felt like screaming from Legends of the Fall, like the old man, like, don't let my boy see. Like when they're the gangsters about to kill him. Like I didn't want him to see, but I figured he'd look at Sonic the Hedgehog. He wouldn't see had the image of his dad diarrheaing on a tiny kid's toilet.
Did you put your cheeks on it, or did you just hover?
I can't. You think I can hover that low?
It's like holding a 60% squat. It's not easy.
No, you
Cannot do that.
could just like kind of lean over it and then just one push and then stand up, and then another push and then stand up.
Was your whole ass swallowing the toilet?
Poop on the butt cheeks as you stand up.
It was
makes it dirtier.
Well, he already stands up to wipe.
It was a rough scenario that and this was I went to flush, nothing. And
no.
and then I thought
the tape on the wrong toilet. Fuck, it was a little toilet. God damn it.
for like 10 seconds, I thought to myself, like, well, I'll just take Max and we'll never come back.
Well, I hope you have enjoyed me at this school. You're going to a new school tomorrow.
Because there's no way the janitor's going to believe that this tiny 40-pound kid released what seemed to me a fish tank full of diarrhea to a kid's toilet.
How big are we talking? 20 gallons? 40 gallons? 40 gallons?
Like, it would be impossible. Like, it's just physically...
Is it enough to
the physics are impossible.
to fill a fireman's helmet?
Oh, yeah.
Enough to fill an astronaut's glove?
Enough to for sure know that it's not the boy that you let in. It's the grown...
Enough to fill a Publix plastic bag?
It's the dad with the red face that's sweating his ass off.
Is there air in there? Is it air conditioned? Or?
Yeah, no, it's an old school, but I realized that they had turned, I guess, the water off on the broken toilet was also the water to the kid's toilet.
So you had to turn the water on.
So after about 20 seconds, I figured out that you could just turn on the water and then
but then the broken toilet's squirting diarrhea.
I was just about to say, water squirts out of that toilet.
So I escaped.
Well, what did he think you were going to do? He's the one that turned the fucking water off. He should have warned you, right?
Yeah, no, because he didn't.
He's like outside laughing about it.
Did you at all ever contemplate shitting in the sink and then turning the water on and splashing it and hoping as much of it will settle down and go down the holes of the drain?
Kind of like the shower shit.
Yeah. Anybody in that scenario?
Accidentally did that one time.
When you're in an emergency scenario, like a lot of ideas go
I've
through
shit in
that.
a broken toilet before and I've left it there and just marched out proud. Because I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I've shit on other people's shit before it was an emergency. I'm like trying to flush their shit and won't shit. There's no other place to shit. I was like, I gotta shit on your shit.
We were at summer camp. Me and a bunch of kids had a competition to see how many shits we could pile on top of each other. In the potty, we had like 12 kids shit on top of shit. I remember my
what number were you?
Mr. Shaft. I never forget it. Mr. Shaft. Mr. Shaft was his name. I swear to God, he had to go in because it got clogged. Obviously, because there's so much.
This toilet. I'm a bad mother.
we all gathered around the toilet.
That was his real name, or was that what he wanted you to call him? Call me Mr. Shaft.
Well, we gave him the Shaft,
and that's why you have to do 25 MRIs a day. Because Mr. Shaft scarred you in some way.
Mr. Shaft was cool.
Mr. Shaft keeps eating my butt.
He was cool. He was my basketball coach, my volleyball coach.
Oh wow,
Shaft coach.
Tell me about my
Talk about eating ass.
That's cool.
So anyway, escape that one.
God,
Second thing I want to talk
man.
about is when's the last time you guys watched the movie Goonies?
Like a month ago?
Really?
Yeah, probably about a month ago.
At least once a month I watch the Goonies.
Well,
Big
so
fan.
my wife turned it on last night and just started watching it out of nowhere. Like we just wanted some bullshit on the background.
Were you watching with the kids or just you guys?
No. Which I realized it was a good thing because in my mind I was like, we should watch this with Max and Tommy. Did not realize that in the 80s, and because then we were looking at the date of when it came out, and we're like. Me and my wife were like, we for sure watched this around 5 or 6 years old, and there's cursing.
Yeah.
There's there's a guy hanging himself or a simulation hanging himself at the beginning, and a dead person. Like lots of things that Tommy and Max cannot handle. Too much snowflakes.
I was going to say, don't you want to toughen them up? I think the Goonies is pretty mild compared to what else is going on in the world.
The problem is you can't go from snowflake to the atrocities that me and my wife saw. We were trained from atrocity to atrocity as 4 to 5 years old.
Sure.
They're too sheltered to watch. Anyway. So we're watching Goonies, and there's a scene at the beginning where they're doing a truck race on the beach, right? Where the bad guys, like the throw mama from the train and the two goons,
the Fratelli brothers.
yeah,
In the ORV.
yeah. They break their one of the dudes out of jail.
What was that lady's name?
What?
That lady. I think she got tongue cancer.
She did die. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, she really? I didn't know that.
I was a
She was
big
old
fan
back
of her.
then.
What a great.
Yeah, she's a good actress.
Yeah, she was
Anne Ramsey.
Anne Ramsey. She was a totally believable old fucking lady.
Italian hag.
So it's very haggy.
Yeah. She's the queen of the hags.
Yeah, you're right.
She's the hag queen.
So in the beginning scene, like the Fratellis, they're escaping from the police, and then they mix themselves themselves into the good old fashioned
race, yeah.
beach truck race, and then they end up the cops end up losing them. And then I'm like, what the fuck? This is a beach truck race. And then my wife's like, yeah, beach truck races. They used to go out in the 80s all the time. I'm like, never heard about like, and this wasn't the fucking Daytona 500 like back when they used to do it on the beach with like professionals. It looked like it was just like some like, hey,
bunch of spring breakers.
Bring your own
Hold on a
truck.
second. Your wife contends that.
Yeah, and I was like, no,
she's wrong.
I was like, this never happened.
I mean,
they just made it up.
I
for the
grew
movie.
up so close to the beach. We go to the beach all the time. There were no truck. I
Yeah,
never
this was
saw
up
one
north. Up
fucking
north,
truck.
they might do that stuff. They
But
do
it's
their stuff different up north.
Did they?
In California, I think they may have. This is like a Baja race they were doing.
Original NASCAR started on the beach, so
Yeah,
that is true.
but
I mean, that's Daytona Beach history. That's Florida history.
This was like presented as if like all the trucks they didn't have like NASCAR. They was just all different.
Like a bunch of friends like racing on the beach. Yeah.
And then there was a guy, and it looked like it was an event.
It's like a BDM event for trucks on the beach, which we should probably do.
And so I had this long argument with my wife, or her saying, "Yeah, this is a common thing that they did all the time back then." And I was like, "I've never heard of this, and I doubt how would they let a bunch of amateur guys like, yeah, just bring your truck down, we'll wave the checkered flag, and then you just go as fast as you can down the beach." Like there would be so much life, even in the 80s.
It's the 80s. It doesn't.
I don't think that ever happened.
Yes, I'm with you.
I don't think it happened up north. I don't think it happened. It certainly didn't happen here. Too many people would have been on the beach.
Hey man, I don't think One-Eyed Willie actually had a pirate ship either. Spoiler alert.
Listen,
I don't think that sloth guy. I don't think that was real either.
By the way,
no, that could be real.
Well, if Tommy saw the sloth, he will.
Oh, you don't think he'd like him?
Oh, it'd be
You guys
terrifying.
didn't finish the movie with them?
They didn't.
No,
watch
they
it.
didn't start watching it.
They
just
were
watched
only
the
watching
beginning.
it together.
Try to keep up.
And then we
Then you got the
I
wedge
got
out.
lost in my own mind.
But so,
I was listening to something else in my head.
God damn it! I'm just saying. I was like, I was telling my wife, I was like, they just made this up for the movie and it like for the plot of them trying to get away. They
agree.
made up the beach truck race. And my wife's like, no, they used to do beach truck races.
Did you look up beach truck races in the 80s?
Because I wanted to talk to you guys about it because I wanted your initial
Guarantee
thought.
that happened somewhere.
I
guarantee.
I mean, I'm sure everything's happened somewhere.
Well,
I'm
there you
just
go.
saying it wasn't a thing.
Yeah, like they didn't do it
It wasn't.
normally.
Yeah, it wasn't like, hey, what are you guys doing this weekend? I'm going to do some beach truck racing. Like that's not a thing.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But maybe because what would make them even come up with that idea? Maybe they've done it before and it was a thing in the 80s,
Yeah.
and they were like, let's just involve it
I'm
into
sure
the
It could
movie.
just be it could be just a
before.
small towns thing.
Yeah,
Once
'cause,
a
like-
year, they get together on the beach. This is our annual beach race at this town.
It's kind of like street racing. It's not legal, but everybody does it every Saturday. You know what I mean? So maybe it was something that people did in
that
the
was like a
80s.
sanctioned event. It looked like it was sponsored.
Yeah. They had balloons,
That's
tents.
what I'm saying. I remember the scene.
Yeah.
That didn't fucking happen. And if it did, all those people would have had to qualify. There would have been a series of like waivers. Even then. Even then.
Yeah. And what if people wandered into, like, the track had to have been miles long for it to be any sort of good race? People wander onto a beach with a bunch of fucking.
Yeah, some fat dad's pulling his cooler. You run over. Yeah, he smashes his
like
guts.
I'm racing in my like Back to the Future Toyota KC lights, something like 80s truck.
I do miss
crashing.
I do miss the covers on the KC lights that were smiley faces. Yeah, I do miss that.
Those are pretty cool.
I'd like to get a truck
I had
with
some.
those
Like,
on there.
my Hummer had those.
Really?
Yeah, I had big-
I'm in the
big
market
KC
for an
lights.
adventure vehicle.
You should get a Marty McFly.
I'd love it. I want a dune buggy. I'm in the adventure, and guess what I did? I did the best thing dads can do. I convinced my daughter to help me gang up on my wife. Because my lease is up. Like, I'm going to eventually have to get rid of my car anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I planted seeds in Maisie's brain about, like, I'm going to need, wouldn't you like to have a vehicle we can put our bikes all in? And we go to the beach, and, you and I can go on adventures. She's like, yeah. I'm like, yes. Oh, fuck up Andrea's day. So bad.
Oh, dude, get an old school mini truck. We'll drop it. Put big rims.
Put a bazooka tube in there, bro.
Sideways plate.
Yeah.
I found a badass Dodge Ram with a Hellcat engine in it. It's like
Well, yeah,
it's like 800
you want to
horsepower.
get a new car, don't you?
Yeah, I got 4 more months and I'm getting something.
Nice.
I don't know what.
Did you lease the Hellcat?
Yeah, I leased
I
it.
didn't know you leased it.
Yeah.
If you don't drive it a lot.
Well, that and I get a new car every few years anyway.
Makes more sense. Yeah.
What makes you decide your vehicle choice?
Well, I just put on Instagram. I had my own little choose my next vehicle. I had like a couple in my head that I want to get. And I had people vote. I had people vote for me. They voted for the Hellcat Red Eye, which wide body, which I am kind of seriously.
It's beautiful.
looking at.
That's a nice looking ride.
It's like 800 horsepower. It's like 100 more than what I have now, and
You
much
need
more.
that.
No, of course I don't need. But do I want it? And can I get it? Yes.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Is either that or I had two Lotus Evora 400.
That's the one on your poll I voted for.
Yeah. Oh, you did vote for
The
that?
Lotus.
I'd love
And
to
most
see-
people voted for taking Uber, you douchebag. So
That's not nice. I
put that on there for
I
that
voted for the
reason.
Lotus because I've always had a kind of a special place in my heart for
Very pretty car.
Ever since I
Beautiful
was a kid, it was on one of the posters on my walls. You know,
really?
I thought the Lotus was pretty cool, man. Yeah, I liked all those exotics, man, and that's like sort of a not a crazy, super crazy exotic, you know, but it's cool.
Does Lotus, do they make bicycles as well? They make like road bikes as well, too, right?
BMW.
I don't know,
makes
nerd,
bikes.
do they?
No,
We're talking cars, not
I
bikes.
think they do,
Why don't
though,
you get the hell out of here? I'm kidding.
I think they do.
You're more of a
Probably a lot of the big
Yeah, I
car
can see
companies do
that.
make actual bikes.
Yeah, I know
On a big- on a
Peugeot
big-
did because
Yeah.
my dad.
Well, I have a Peugeot and
when,
a-
when my
call
dad
them?
used to cycle all the time, like my dad, like my mom was telling me, maybe that's why I enjoy bikes so much. My dad used to just get on his bike with just those chamois cloth bike shorts, you know, to keep your balls from falling off, and he would just go. And like my mom said that he did one trip, he went all the way to Umatilla, and then back from Umatilla all the way to Daytona, and then back to DeLand.
goddamn.
And I'm like, when did he do this? She was like, a couple days. I'm like, my dad just did that? She's like, yeah, he's really into it.
Huh.
And she gave me his bike, and I threw it in the trash.
It was old.
Yeah, it was like, some hipster could have made it into something,
Those
but
Peugeot frames are worth a lot.
yeah, it was a nice frame, but I threw it in the trash.
Back to cars, nerds.
why don't you get a Polaris slingshot? You're more of a... You strike me as a slingshot type
Then you
of
could
guy.
ride around like with just tiny shorts on.
I don't know about a daily driver, but maybe I can, for the weekend it'd be fun. I guess.
What about a Tesla?
There's some cool. Everyone keeps recommending.
They go
Tesla to
really
me.
fast.
Yeah, that's great, but they look like they're so plain looking to
You
me.
don't like
they
the
look
way they
like
look?
any other car driving around.
Dude,
I have to.
There was a murdered
I
out.
have to stand out.
There was like a new
murdered out
Tesla
one.
that was nice as hell.
Is it the murdered out, the matte black with the
Yeah,
red?
yeah. Gunmetal black.
It's cool. The paint looks cool. Just the shape. It's boring to me. There's nothing like, oh wow, that's a it's a Tesla.
If
but
you
it's
want
just-
fast, I mean, those things are faster
course,
than
fast.
any motor.
Yeah,
So
I know.
fast.
Once
Have you driven one?
the infrastructure gets better, I think with electric vehicles, I'll.
Have you guys
totally
driven
down.
one? It's weird.
I have not. No.
Stupid fast, man.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I mean, it's
And a lot of tech, like almost. And I'm a tech guy, I love tech, but it's almost like overwhelming because you get updates like weekly on like new features.
It's like
they're
a
just
2-foot monitor.
Yeah. It's like like as big as my monitor here for the podcast, and you got that in their center console, and then they'll give you updates like weekly. They'll be like, "Hey, we added this, and every time you get in your car, you start it up, and there's a fucking update of everything that they added. We added this for your stereo and the navigation. We changed this tire pressure control, and I'm like, that's really
and all,
cool.
But can you go into a tunnel, put it in neutral, and go, and just have everything echo and have your head shake?
No, you can't do that.
And that's
No,
all.
that's the one thing you can't
That's
do
what-
with it.
I'd rather get all that tech and do that. I mean, that's way more fun.
yeah, that attracts the ladies.
I don't care. What the fuck do I care about that? I care about what I like.
Is that what you like?
I don't care about the ladies. I care about the dudes that rumbling on the bridges.
No, it's just me. It's
my engine loud.
it sounds really cool. I mean,
Loud noise make dick hard. Dick so hard from noise. Uh-oh, poop pants.
no,
Do you want to take a break?
pee pants.
Yeah, pee pants. All right. Let's take a little break. Hey, I went like funky music. I'm still on my quest because, the summer is officially over now, but I'm still on my quest for more yacht rock. And I found a couple of bands today you're going to hear where the music's going to be a little funkier than normal. Check out the drums on this one. This guy lays it down. The name of the band is The Night Cafe. The name of the song is Please. It's off of their 0151 album. Enjoy. We'll be back with more Mediocre Time right after this.
If you're buying and selling your house, you guys know Bart Merrick, Crystal Van. It's the Bart Merrick team. Mm-hmm. They have years of experience, hundreds and hundreds of our listeners' houses they have bought and sold for them. They have experience.
Well, it's
They're a
all that
team,
they
2
do.
people,
It's all,
full
and
time.
They tag team in, and what I mean by that is if you're calling to get a hold of Bart, and let's say Bart's busy, well, you're going to get Crystal, and if
Yeah.
you're calling to get Crystal, vice versa, you're going to get Bart. They really try to be prompt and get back to you as quick as humanly possible. And like I said before, it's all that they do. They don't just dabble in being realtors. That's, this is their day to day.
And Bart,
sun up to sundown.
Bart himself is a photographer, specializes in HDR, will make your house look beautiful on the MLS website, and that's what will sell your house. We got a listener on the line. Ruthie is here. How you doing, Ruthie?
Hey guys, how you doing?
I have known Ruthie and Brian for a very long time. I used to play video games with them, and then we both had families, and we don't do anything fun anymore except play with our children. Man, I saw your house. You got a hell of a nice house, man.
We sure did. They hooked us up with the house of our dreams. We've been looking forward to it.
It's dope. I didn't know you guys were even in the market, and I just look up one day and I see the infamous the thumbs up photo, and then this awesome house, and I'm like, oh my God, Brian and Ruthie got a brand new house. So are you loving it so far?
We are absolutely loving it. It's perfect for our family. It's in the area we wanted. We found everything that we wanted in this house. We couldn't be happier.
That's dope,
man.
Now,
you sold and bought a house through the Bart Merrick team. How was your experience working with Bart and Crystal?
That was my biggest fear, was selling our house and being able to purchase a house simultaneously like we did. And that's what held me back from doing it for so long. But it was so easy. Easier than I had expected, and Bart and Crystal really walked us through the whole thing and made us feel very comfortable about it, and closing was flawless.
Awesome.
Yeah,
that's what you need.
They kind of specialize in that. And I'm so glad that you brought that up, Ruthie, because when I was buying my house, I didn't have the luxury of working with Bart and Crystal, so I had to move in with my mom and dad.
Oh, great.
For about 2 months while they readied the house that I was going to buy. That is blanking miserable. Crystal and Bart will actually do they'll work the numbers. I mean, Crystal,
time it out right.
Tom knows that the only way that he stays organized is Crystal. The only way that you're going to stay organized by using Bart and Crystal is Crystal. Crystal she is so good at organizing and getting that time right. Plus, she worked in the moving industry. She knows how to deal with deadlines. And that's all that Ruthie and Brian were looking for, is like, you didn't want to have to move in with your folks. I'm sure they're wonderful people, but nobody wants that. Nobody wants that.
No.
So I'm so glad that worked out for you. That can be scary, but I think with Bart and Crystal, they've done it enough times to kind of put people at ease.
Now, Ruthie, last question. What's up with this raccoon you got at work? Crystal told me.
I didn't know that.
Ask Ruthie about her pet raccoon. It sleeps on her head
I
at
wish
work.
it was my pet. No, I work for a wonderful company, Pro Staff. We do pest control and wildlife and things like that. And this is just a situation where we were able to trap the baby but couldn't find the mother. So one of the guys on our staff is licensed and rehabs a lot of wildlife, and he took this baby raccoon in, and every morning brings it in, and we get to feed it and play with it, and it's just the best morning for me.
Oh, Tom, you're going to end up with a baby raccoon. I can feel it.
I'm fighting Max.
No, they're so smart, man. And they have like their hands are like human hands. It's kind of creepy.
Yeah, grabbing at everything.
Well, Ruthie, thanks so much for using Bart and Crystal. Now you get to come in and watch a show, so hit us up and we'll schedule you guys in on a Friday.
Yeah, I'll be excited to see you guys.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'd love to. Thank you.
All right, have a good rest of your day, and thanks for your time.
You too, guys.
All right, later. That is so cool, dude. I had no idea you were calling one of my friends.
It's BartTheRealtor.com.
Scumbags, what's going on? It is Sam and Trav with your BDM clip of the week, Sam.
And Trav.
This week's clip, the boys talk about pee-pee problems.
All right, let's check out the clip.
When I take a piss, even if I have to unzip my pants all the way, I always hold my dick with my left hand, and I'm right-handed. And tell me if this has ever happened to you guys. It's happened to me a couple times where, like, you're wearing basketball shorts, and so, like, I will hold my basketball shorts down with my right hand and hold my penis with my left hand and, hold it and pee it into the toilet. Excuse me.
Jesus.
It's happened to me before where, I have to hold down with my thumb, and I didn't have it well enough grip. It'll slip off my thumb, and the elastic will come up and slap my penis and shoot that thing straight up. And I've actually got pee on my chest before because my basketball shorts slap me in the junk while I'm peeing. Ever happen to you guys? And which hand do you hold it with when you feed?
All right. Excellent question. Thank you, sir, for calling.
I'm the exact opposite. I'll hold my boxers or basketball shorts on left, and then dick with the right hand.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I go left with the shorts, right with the hold. But lately, and I think for all of my life, I go double hand waist under the balls. I let my balls hold my elastic under. And
yeah, because it's going to weigh it down and keep it down. So you don't have it
I always go under the balls with the elastic, and then I hold it with my right, and then I have my left hand for like Googling the phone.
I drop my underwear all the way to the ground, stand with my hands behind my back, and just let it all do.
Yeah, that's the max.
The problem with putting the elastic under your balls is, to me, it kinks the tubing and causes it.
You don't get full flow. You don't get full flow.
You shouldn't have any tubing in your balls for your peeing.
Something it pushes and it makes it one.
Yours might have been.
Tubes in your balls.
You might have tubing balls, or maybe they rearranged your urethra through your balls. I don't feel like mine does that.
It's underneath.
Now underneath there's
something there.
Underneath my shaft there is the pee tube, and I can kink that with my finger or pinch it and stop it. But
I'm telling you, there's some sort
there's some sort of a giant tube.
I already have enough problems urination during urination to I don't need any more pressure holding.
Now my dad,
back.
I think dads.
I'm almost at the point where I'm going to need medication.
I am a thumb under the balls kind of guy, and then I just use a little bit of leverage to adjust the stream. I've perfected it, I think.
Okay, that's interesting. I'll have to check that out next time you go pee-pee.
All right.
Well, to hear the rest of this episode, you need to sign up to become a BDM.
At TomandDan.com.
That is brand new music from Tegan and Sarah. I don't know if you know who those guys are, but they got a new single out called I'll Be Back Someday. Welcome back to A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom.
Samantha Butler, Seth Petruzzelli, special guest hanging out today. And are we doing the shot now? Is that what we're doing? All right. Butler, what do I do for you now? Do I give you music? No,
whatever.
I think I just give you echo, right?
Yeah.
I just give you the reverb, and then I just okay, here.
All right.
There you are, sir, and you may begin.
Cool. Cheers to T&D for ruining Jimmy's show, dropping the R word, way to go. In the heated podcast battle, we know who's the worst. Never forget Jimmy shot first. Rock and roll 159-90210.
There you go.
Cheers. I forgot to talk about that. For whatever reason, I think it was out of. Can't take a little shot, baby? Come on.
Fucking great.
That was smooth, bro. That was booyah.
So,
bullet.
What was that?
Booyah.
Booyah.
God, it hurts.
I accidentally, and it was weird because when I did it, I was like, and then I was like, and then we.
It wasn't
went to
accidental.
break.
You had texted me, watch me say the R word.
No. I forgot what we
And
were.
then after that, you're like, up next, N-word.
It's about vaping, right?
Oh yeah. It was about the.
They're trying to ban the flavored vapes.
Ban the flavor.
Because they think it's getting kids into it,
Yeah, and then I was like, that logic is.
Say
the R word. Well, because people get. And I'm. Okay. I will. I'll say it on the show, but listen. If you're gonna get offended, please do not listen. Fast forward to this part. But I'll basically I said them banning fruit flavored vapes because they think that's attracting kids to start vaping because they're like, wonder what watermelon tastes like, and they're like, ooh,
Wonder what watermelon tastes like. Eat a watermelon, you
or
fucking idiot.
They know candy just because it's flavored is ridiculous. And
normally the flavors don't even taste like the real fruit.
Right.
Like artificial watermelon, artificial banana. There's certain ones that they just can't get right.
Yeah.
In a way, though, I almost agree with them almost banning this. I'll be the devil's advocate. My sister-in-law is a principal at a high school, and the amount.
Who?
My sister-in-law.
A woman?
Oh my God.
Taking some heat off you, bro.
She confiscates
they call it a princess bowl.
That's kind of cute.
Get him.
I'm trying to be sexist. And
Hold on, put that on Etsy. We'll be millionaires.
Right?
I'm not a principal. I'm a princess-able.
Confiscates
that.
hundreds of jewels, like a
Okay,
week.
and your point
She
is?
can confiscate
These
my
are all
dude.
these are all kids like smoking.
Yeah,
them.
guess what?
I know.
Kids been smoking in high school for fucking years.
Yeah, I think
And middle school.
There's definitely
still
uptick
shouldn't
in
promote it.
vaping than there
Yes.
was a cigarette.
Of
This
course.
is because it's easier to hide. That's
Exactly.
it.
Yeah, and
Same way I vape weed. It's easier
Whose
to hide
fault
from
is
my
that?
wife.
I'm
That's
not-
not. Look, I'm a goddamn adult. If I want to fucking vape, I should be able to vape. Because your kid is dumb enough to fucking go do it, and you're not supervising your kids. Why
Well,
are we
that's
getting
what you
punished
said.
as
You
adults?
said that if your kid is vaping and using these fruit flavors and you don't know about it, that's
on the parent.
That's on you,
But
bro.
I'm familiar. I know tons of kids are vaping and instead of smoking, which I probably think is probably better than smoking. But what I was saying is, it's not the fruit flavors that are causing them to start vaping.
Exactly.
And then I said that logic is retarded.
Yeah.
And then when I said it, I was like,
We'll be
whoa!
right back.
And then I was like, and then we went to break. I was like, Jack, did you cut
Butler's
that?
boner just expanded.
And then I was like,
Finally, somebody's got the balls to speak his mind.
No, I was like, why did I say that?
Shannonberg.
I turned around to Daniel. I was like, why did I say that? I've never said
No,
the R word.
you
in a
were
long time.
cold. I'll tell you exactly what you did. You
Because
said,
you watched the Chappelle
and I'll say it
special,
because
and you're united.
Yeah, we're
No,
walking through this.
I understand, and
don't get offended. We're walking through what's something that actually happened, and anybody that knows Tom knows he's never fucking said that. I don't think I've ever heard you say that word. So I'm sitting there with you, and you said
8 years ago
He's
when it was
definitely
cool.
said
you said that's retarded.
But now
and
it's
then, no, but you
changed.
froze. You said, "Oh, that's retarded."
Yeah,
And you froze, and then you closed your mouth, and you just kind of held there until Deborah went to break, and then you didn't. Your eyes stayed like in the same area, and then you turned to me and you go, "Why did I say that?"
Yeah.
And I go, "I don't know why you said that."
I know it was because
I mean, like it is
Because words mean
I've done
different
it.
things.
Didn't you do it one time?
Fucking things.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago.
On our show?
Yeah. It's on a Friday free
Well,
show.
Seth,
See, you said that, but
I'm
I
not-
don't remember hearing that.
listen, and I do not want to turn this into a debate. Or
Well, we
whether,
didn't make it a big deal.
No, yeah, or
Yeah, but we wouldn't because we do know. Like, let's just be real.
Yeah.
We do know that we have listeners that have written us before and said that they don't want us using certain words, whatever.
And it's fine.
And
And
we
we
are
don't need it.
mindful. We're mindful to that. Yeah, who fucking needs that word? There's a million other ones.
Yeah, if you're going to stand on that hill and be
It
like,
was the whole-
That makes a good point there.
I
It
have
was
to
the
say
story
it.
about like asking a woman if she's pregnant, and then Tom was saying he would do the opposite and just go with it and say that he was pregnant.
Oh,
that
yeah,
was
yeah.
when I slipped up
Okay,
and said
Yeah,
it.
because you
But
get
it, like
passionate,
when we were
emotions
growing
out.
like,
up,
you're an idiot.
Yeah, but when we were growing up, I mean, I probably said that word with my buddies riding BMX bikes in DeLand.
Of course.
1,000 times a day?
Yeah. It was a different time. And
2,000 times a day?
But what I do know, and me and Daniel have talked about many times, is like when the culture says
time marches on,
So
man.
when things change, we don't need to be like, no, I refuse. I don't give a shit. I'm like, okay, no more of
Tighten
that.
up, homie. I'm
Like,
good.
yeah,
No big deal.
I can change, and everybody needs to change, and no one needs to be like, no, I refuse. I have to say it. Like,
I
okay,
also-
Or you-
also
on the
there-
other spectrum, you don't have to demand when how everyone else is using the vocabulary either. Like, who gives a shit what one person says?
I
and
agree
another
with that.
I
says?
see
Argument
both
is there.
sides, but when
It's
I get a
ridiculous.
letter from a listener who says, "Hey, I got a kid,"
You send back an envelope full of shit.
No.
Wow.
Come on, wow.
Okay.
that's
But Seth, it doesn't
He
matter.
didn't even- honestly,
We can
he
be-
didn't even let me finish what I was saying. So I think
Sorry.
he just, if somebody emails and says, "I love the show," just send him an envelope of
An auto response should be nothing but auto response. Just write back shit.
You get shit envelope.
I just wanted a sticker or a mag. I love the show. I got a shit envelope. What do I do with this?
Make that into a sticker.
The magnets under the shit. We're not heartless.
So that was weird.
Yeah,
I think
it
it was
was
the
weird.
environment.
But
I
you
was
know
in.
what?
I was in
Nobody-
the
90s,
I was
yeah.
in that
But
90s radio.
nobody
Back
fucking
at it.
said a word. Not Deborah.
No.
Not Jack. Not one person flinched. Nobody said a fucking word.
I think that
Because I don't think. Because I think no. You know what I think it was. If you just want me to be real, I think people know that you don't say that word,
Yeah.
and they could feel that when you
And it
said
didn't
it,
mean
that it,
anything
yeah,
right now.
yeah, and you
I'm not
didn't
trying
mean
to hurt
anything. There was no
anybody's
intent there.
feelings. No.
There was no intent there. So
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
whatever.
fine.
But it was interesting to. It's an interesting because I do it now. I'm trying to curb my cursing in front of my daughter because she cursed the other day coming down the stairs.
Oh, Tommy said shit the other day.
No
Yeah,
way.
Yeah.
I thought he was the good one.
Maisie
He
said,
didn't know
"Damn
what
it."
it even meant.
He said, "I was good as shit today at school."
Yeah, how did he use it?
he was playing his screen day, and he was playing a video game, and something bad happened. He was like, "Shit."
At
Then my
least
wife
he used it right.
had a conversation with him. He didn't know what it meant, but he knew it was a response to something.
I said
Bad
shit, and then
happening,
this
yeah.
bitch started talking. Fuck this shit. I'm out.
And then
no more Max and Daddy Day, or I'm going to be bad.
He's rebelling.
Well, better than my kid.
I don't know what you did,
my kid
though.
is now becoming me, and it's scaring the absolute shit out of me.
And anytime I need any sort of like parenting, because since I don't know how to do it, I act like a wide receiver in the NFL when another wide receiver gets hurt, breaks his leg, and you're like, oh, and then you point at the sidelines, you're like, hey, if you start pointing at him. So that's what I do. I'm like, if Tommy said shit, I point at my wife, start pointing frantically at Tommy, and then she would know the right thing to do. I would, if he said that to me, I would be like, oh, just act like it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to do with the problem that I'm currently having, and I don't know if you guys can help me because you guys are a bunch of fucking idiots, but maybe. But my daughter is now, like, I think she is in classic Dan Dennis style. She is now completely paranoid and scared of rain.
Ooh.
And I don't know.
It's hard because I feel like you'll be there one day.
With rain?
You'll look out your window and you're like, it's coming. I better stay inside.
Watch it from the skies.
Is she scared? Is she scared of like the shower dripping
No,
down?
hard rain. No, I made that. I said, hey, but it's just like the shower. It's just like the sinks.
Yeah, because
so
you could desensitize her by sticking her in the bathroom and turning on all the faucets and water slowly.
Well,
sticking her
no,
close.
no, you know what she
No, don't
did?
stick her in the shower.
Do you know what
You
she's
stick her
done
close.
now?
Is this what Mr. Shaft taught you?
It's called desensitive.
We're going in the shower.
I am a psychology major. I do have some sort of know-how.
You're going to hear some rhythmic slapping now. Sandusky.
I can't believe you remember the
I'm
rhythmic.
Shaft Sandusky.
Because remember the attorney goes, the rhythmic slapping. He said it 3 times. So I'll tell you one thing that I'll give her a positive first, but it hurts my heart. She now takes showers on her own because she has a shower in her room. So there are no more baths because she's very independent like her mom. So she has all of her shower gels. She has her poof or whatever, her loofah. And, I mean, we'll sit in there with her, but she goes in, she washes herself by herself, washes her hair, brushes her fucking teeth, comes out and dries herself. She doesn't even, like, the kid part of, like, her being a sweet little baby girl is fucking gone.
Yeah, she's gonna want you out. She's gonna want you out soon. She's going, Daddy, get out of here.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But anyway, I made that case this morning. I was like,
yeah, but as another dad, they're the same. It causes us to panic because then there's like, well, you don't need me to, like they're growing up too fast. It's
like
scary.
I went in there. I said, when did this? I told Andrea, I go, what the fuck is this? She wants to take a shower by herself. Did you do this? You know, I kind of like threw it on. Andrea.
Did you do this?
No, well, it wasn't fair.
What did you do?
I'm just warts and all in it. I'm giving.
I'm gonna flush your head down the toilet.
So I started slapping her around. No. I mean, it was hurtful to me. So I went to her. I was like, "Did you suggest this? Like, is this a thing now?" And Andrea's like, "No, she has to do it. She does it now.
She's independent as shit, like
She's
Andrea.
like her, exactly." But the bad part, so that's I'm showing you the good, right? Independent can take her own shower. She just turned 4 in July, so it's not like she's been 4, for a long time. She can take her own shower, handle all of that, get herself dressed, put her own fucking diaper on or pull up or whatever. She's good to go. Then she comes in, like to me, like now, like with the rain thing, I don't know what to fucking do about it. And it really is bothering me because, like, today I was like, oh, look, Daddy's going to put some rain on his hands to wash his hands, She's not fucking buying it.
Is it the rain itself or is it thunder and lightning? Or everything?
It's hard rain, thunder, and lightning.
So she's like a dog.
It was something with the hurricane coming in. No, seriously.
Then it's not the rain. Something with the hurricane.
It was something with...
It's with all the drama.
Someone freaked her out.
She's never had this. I don't know if it was... We didn't watch the news coverage in front of her, not because we want to shelter her, but like it just... I wasn't
the news
into
coverage. The exact same thing happened with the AIDS epidemic back in the 80s.
Yes.
Remember that story?
Do tell.
Seth,
I
sit down with her and be like, I was afraid of AIDS one time.
I did. I cried hysterically when I was like 5 years old.
Maisie, AIDS is the rain of the sky.
I get.
By the way, I'm still afraid of AIDS. Very, very afraid.
Extremely.
I mean, everybody should be afraid of AIDS, but nobody should be afraid of rain.
Except for the guy they get tested by who tells me I can't get it from a girl.
Oh, Andrea's in the chat room. I said July. I got her birthday wrong. Thank you, Andrea. June. And yeah, she doesn't mind thunder, she's saying. Thunder and lightning doesn't. Is it just the rain, Andrea? Andrea, you could call in if you want to talk about this. I just like it's bothering me because it's like me with planes.
It's irrational
and
fear,
she also has that. I can feel that OCD. I can feel it because she'll wake up and she'll be like, Alexa, what's the weather? Like she does that shit.
Oh,
And I'm
Andrea
like,
says she doesn't want to get wet in her clothes. She just wants to be a pretty princess. She doesn't want to get wet. That's
yeah, but it's a crying, it's a thing. It's a like immediately wake up, go to Alexa, check the weather on her own, listen to it. If it says rain, it's a fucking ordeal.
Start Googling like gods of thunder and gods of rain and show her all these cool creatures and like mythical beasts and how powerful they are.
Look at this demon. It comes out of the rain.
Yeah. So when you go out in the rain, just remember the demon is jacking off on you.
Demon, you say powerful entities that are like creating.
Yeah, she loves showers. She loves swimming. She loves. Well, I don't get it, man. But when I look at it, and Tom's like, yeah, you're going to get the best and the worst in your kids of you. When I see it, all the good things are Andrea, all the bad things are me. But you guys knew that. You knew when I was having a kid. You're like, oh shit, Andrea. Hopefully she's more powerful.
Yeah.
I think she's calling in now. If you want to grab that.
I mean, but that's what happens. You give your kids.
Hey, is that you?
Yeah, me.
Yeah, give me some more insight into this because like this morning really fucked me up because she was not happy. She was really sad.
She burst into tears now because it's just, I think it's just rain. She doesn't want to get wet. I don't know, though, the root of it. I don't know how it started. I don't know. She's okay with thunder and lightning, but she asks Alexa like 3 times a day if it's going to rain the next day.
Yeah, she can do everything, by the way. She can get up, take her own shower, dress herself, ask Alexa the weather. It's like, shit, Tom and I can't even do that. I was like, fucking hey, man.
She'll see, if she sees clouds, why are those clouds dark? Like, she'll start asking us. It's so freaked out by the fact that she could get wet in her clothes.
So what I wanted to do...
We don't understand it.
I wanted to take her to West Channel 2 with our good friend Amy Sweezy because she loves... Amy Sweezy has written 2 children's books that are about weather. And I wanted to take her up there. Plus, Amy Sweezy happens to be extremely attractive, wears dresses all the time, and sort of looks like a princess. I'm like, we can make this happen.
Yeah.
Who better to explain how rain is not going to hurt you than the weather woman, right?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking a field trip to West Channel 2. I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to big dick some strings here and make this happen. And
or if you want to save a little bit of time,
push her out in the rain.
Old Tom Van and then Seth Pagelli can walk over there.
Well, you guys gonna take her to Gator Dockside?
Yeah. I'll sit down. I'll explain to her how rain works, which I have no idea.
I'll tell him. I'll tell him my story about how how I had the same thing with AIDS.
All right, so
I'll explain to her what that is.
Andrea, I think we've got to figure it out. Tom's going to take her to Gators. Tom's going to take her to Gators to explain how rain works that he doesn't know, and then Mr. Poo Poo AIDS is going to accompany her and also tell her that he was once afraid of AIDS during the.
I want 3 Gator yards of beer of Bud Light, big bowl.
I don't think these yahoos. She'll come out of there more petrified than when she went in. These yahoos.
But she'll be scared of something else. Like,
oh my God.
Scared of AIDS is less likely. If rain happens and we live in Florida, it's the worst thing to be scared of.
Well, you're touching yourself as a little kid, so you think that you get it.
She told Daniel she wants to move to the desert. And, take all of our house and everything and move to the desert. And I looked at him and I said, this anxiety and everything that she has, that's you.
She did say
Unfortunately, genetically, that's
Andrea did tell me that, and I just taken a toot, and it really killed my buzz, because if there's anything I take seriously, and I know you guys don't think I do, but it's my marriage and my child, and that one, and I deserved it, but that stung, That was a goodie.
I've been around Daniel for a lot of years, and I've examined his life and what had caused this extreme anxiety problem, and I was like, great mom, great dad, fine, nature.
Yeah.
Born with
I think
it.
He's right.
Some people are,
There's been nothing.
I was born this way, Lady Gaga.
There's been nothing in his past that would cause this.
Always supported, best dad ever, best mom ever. They stay together. Imagine that, right? I mean,
it's like you're gonna have to medicate.
So are you saying Daniel and I should really mess her up by giving her a terrible childhood, and then the nature won't bother her? She will be hardened.
Oh yeah, maybe we gotta.
Maybe her life is too good, so the only thing she has to worry about is the rain.
Oh, all right. Well, she is pretty tough, though.
But living in Florida, that's going to be rough.
You would admit that she is really tough. She came around that corner down here at Osprey and smacked a pylon on her bike.
Yeah.
Smacked the shit out of it. And she was fine. She's a hard ass.
Yeah, I mean, well,
But that's what I'm saying. She has no, like Tom always talks about, she has no adversity in her life. So the only thing she has to ever worry about in her life
is rain.
Yeah, but
so we need to toughen her up.
Now, no, you're using
Get her into Little Gorillas.
Yeah,
Andrea, you're
she's
applying.
an athlete, bro. I'm telling you,
You're
She'll crush
applying.
it.
She's tough. You don't need toughening up. My son Tommy needs toughening. Not tough, but
he's not afraid. He's not afraid of the fucking rain.
I saw the video of them getting beating each other. They're pretty good.
Don't talk about it.
But so it's not a matter of toughness. It's a matter of irrational fears. And Daniel has irrational fears. Daniel's not a pussy. Like, he's the tough guy.
Oh, I get it.
He's irrationally afraid of things.
We're right here.
Yeah. He's irrationally afraid of flying and getting some sort of disease that's going to kill him.
There's nothing irrational about either of those things. But okay.
Thank you. You're an ally, sir.
So
an ally.
that's what you have to treat is the how to treat irrational fears. Like, she's irrationally afraid of rain, and I just have a feeling
and she has the OCD because
it's going to turn into some other irrational fear.
She has the OCD. Do you know? You want to know what she said to Andrea this morning? She's super fucking smart, and she has my OCD. I can feel it because she tells Andrea. She bursts into tears, and we're standing there. I'm trying to get her in the classroom. And she looks at Andrea, and she goes, "We're just going to have to check the weather again." And Andrea's like, "I can't check the weather." And Maisie goes, "Yes, you can, on your phone, with your app." She's just telling us straight up what the fuck to do. It's really sad, man. But, I mean, we're working through it.
She'll get over it.
We're working through it. Yeah, it's probably a phase.
It'll just transition to something else irrational, so it's fine.
Like, when she was
Why can't she be like normal little white kids in Florida and be afraid of minorities? God, why rain? Some of her best friends are of every color, but rain can't handle the rain. Well, I love you, babe.
I can't stand the rain.
Love you too.
All right, what are you doing right
when
now?
does she finds WebMD?
Going Missy Elliott on us.
To Publix so I can make your meatballs.
All right.
Yeah,
I like that.
We're making meatballs tonight. Hey, did you find any barramundi?
Nope, they don't have barramundi.
God damn
All
it!
right, substitute the breadcrumbs for either almond or cassava flour, and you'll thank me later. He'll lose another 10 pounds.
Okay, we can do that. Cassava could get some.
Is that going to give us the poop?
Get some.
Is that why we're going to lose
Get some
10
George Costanza flour. I love you.
George
I love you. Bye.
All right, bye. Yeah, we're gonna make some meatballs tonight.
You want to do some news, Seth?
No.
You want to do it right now?
Yeah.
I'd rather just sit here and talk.
I don't have a. Yeah, I haven't made him an intro, and I don't know why.
Well,
because you said somebody else did it. And you're
Mike
lazy.
has
Oh
the
yeah,
intro.
but that's the one you don't like.
I don't care.
Okay,
of
here we
course
go.
I don't
Then
like
let's-
it. It
then
says
let's-
I have a brain fucking damage.
Then let's do it.
Trying to prove he's gonna die. The CD is kicking in with every new hit at the gym. He laid out Kimbo with an attack, but the Russian won't call him back. And we all forgot about that fight. Just more proof alone you're gonna die. From fighting in the UFC to reading news to you and me, you could say he wears a lot of hats, but we'll just focus on his eyes. So hippo people, get on your hooves and put them together for you know who. As if you narcs don't have a clue. It's Seth Petrozelli with your douche bro news. It's Seth Petrozelli with your douche bro news.
Seth's favorite part.
It's just so random and beautiful. Yeah.
Douche Bro News.
That's good too.
News today.
That's not part of the song. That's you, right?
Brought to you by Certera.
Citalopram? What?
Certera Wellness.
I'm off of that now.
I was gonna say you should crush up and start putting it in your daughter's cereal or something.
Oh my god!
I mean, she's gonna need it sooner or later.
So, Certera, if you, is this going to give me the... I'll just wait for it to...
No, you...
I know,
What?
It's done.
All right. Certera, if you want to spend the rest of your life looking for your eye drops and wallet, Certera.
What?
No.
Ringing endorsement.
He got rid of the farts for that.
Anyway.
That's so good.
Going there today.
Yep.
What do we got here?
Well, if I could just real quick thank Justin real fast at Home Floor Store. He just installed my carpet
awesome.
a couple days ago.
What kind of ply did you get, bro?
Amazing. You know what? I don't know.
Or pile.
I said just give
what
me
kind
some
of pile
good
did you get?
stuff.
You get it real high? Is it
I don't know. I was
is it
like,
cushy?
Oh, it's super cushy. It feels like I'm walking on a cloud.
Exactly.
It's nice. Yeah, it's really
Tom
nice.
and I got that. Man,
And plus, the best part is they left like a strip left over. So now instead of walking on, I got the actual same carpet over top of the carpet. So it's my walk pathway. So I don't ruin the actual new carpet. That's pretty cool, right?
That's a Daniel move.
That's a Daniel move. I am proud. They're other than not looking anything alike. There's so much alike here.
Yeah.
I would totally put carpet on top of my carpet to protect the carpet that's on the carpet.
It's the equivalent of
double condom
of a grandma getting a really nice couch for a living room, then putting plastic over it and shitting it all over. I got new carpet. Let's put some old carpet on top of it so it looks like shit. Just so I don't track a little bit of dirt on it, like a normal
this guy has doo-doo out of his mouth.
There's a lot of stuff walking in and out of that area. It goes to my master bedroom. That's my main walk. That's my thoroughfare to my main.
A lot of
master
girls with cum dripping out of them.
To be honest, I am very, very respectful when it comes to that. Every time I go and I get
Here's a napkin, my lady.
Oh, I get the wet wipes.
Apologies, it's Dunkin' Donuts.
I swear to God, I'm like, hey, stay here, relax. I go and get the wet wipes. I clean everything up for them.
You clean her up?
Yeah, of course.
Some girls don't want that.
Every single time.
Plus, they got to go sit on the toilet and let it fall out.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Well, not for everybody.
I want kids. I pick their heels up and I shake like this.
For those of you that were,
I want a kid.
For those of you that were on Discord, I know for a fact that you don't need to do that because you can barely get past the lips. I'm sorry, I had to say it. Okay. It already fell out. What do you mean? I just did it.
That's pretty sure my way to the service.
Stop moving. It's falling out. We're supposed to move. That's sex, huh? Take a picture of this.
All right, first story.
All right, first story. The Amazon. Amazon wants to scan your hands for making payments at Whole Foods. You guys hear about this at all?
No.
Okay.
Now, I knew about the cameras they put in there, and they had rolled out some of those Whole Foods markets where you could walk in and whatever you took and put in your bag and walked out, it would already deduct it using, what was it, facial recognition and knowing what you took based on a series of like AI-type cameras.
So Amazon is putting some serious efforts to avoid the use of any sort of physical cards at its offline stores. According to a report from the New York Post, the e-commerce giant is internally testing a payment system codenamed Orville that will allow people to perform payments just by using their hands without physical touch.
Isn't that terrible show by Seth MacFarlane?
What?
The Orville?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sci-fi show, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a Star Trek.
Isn't it still on, too?
I don't think that's still on, is it?
Yeah, I think it is. I think it got re-upped. What a hunk of shit.
Yeah.
I watched one episode. Yeah, I'm like, this sucks.
Everything outside of Family Guy is garbage from him.
Well, even
Ted was good.
I just don't think
Ted is fucking not good.
I just don't think I like that guy. I think I've turned on him.
I like him.
I have.
You ever hear the Seth MacFarlane story?
McFarlane.
That's different. But his story about missing the 9/11 planes.
Oh yeah, that's why he makes the jokes all the time about it, because he was supposed to be on one of the planes.
Yeah, he was. I think it was the plane that crashed, and the second plane that crashed in the buildings. He had a flight out that day, and that was his flight. And he showed up late, and then 10 minutes late, and they stopped boarding. They're like, you got to wait for the next one.
Thank God.
That was the goddamn plane. It's a crazy story.
Wow.
But so
could have saved us from the Orville.
Whole Foods. Is this Amazon or Whole Foods?
No, Whole Foods. So
they're the same now, right?
Yeah, they're owned. Yeah, they're owned. Amazon bought Whole Foods. Yeah. So as the user's hands get scanned, the customer's details gets fetched from his or her Amazon Prime account that's linked to the credit card. So all they have to do is like scan their hand on the way out, so they don't have to pull a card, nothing like that. Just
I'm okay with that.
Oh yeah, me too.
I think that's more efficient.
Plus, I shop there all the time, and it always gets backed up so much with the people trying to check out.
Do you ever go to a Fresh Market?
No, fuck Fresh. I am a Whole Foods whore.
Oh,
I only go to Whole Foods.
It's so expensive.
I love it. Every week I'm there, no less than $250 a trip.
I kind of like I kind of like Fresh Market a little bit. Like I've
never been to Fresh Market.
You know, I'll tell you what sold it for me. I went there, and my daughter loves bacon, so I went there, and they had just butchered bacon, and it was like the deal on the bacon, because you know, if you buy like quality bacon, like Right Brand or something that's like a thick cut, like smoked, you know, uncured, like nice bacon, it's really expensive. I got like 2 pounds of bacon for like $11, which is like a deal. That's a steal. I actually had some that I could like food save and save for later, so that was awesome.
Look, you pay so much money for like travel, for expensive cars, for houses, all this clothes. Like, you're putting something in your body. Shouldn't you don't you want to buy something that's like the best and optimal to put inside your body? Like, I figure that's what if you're going to spend money, you spend money on something that's going to go inside you, that's going to help you live a better life and be healthier.
I can't argue with that.
That's why I spend the money I do on my food, because I think it's very important.
Yeah. The problem is, Seth,
and for mental health.
The way I look at it, if for mental health, I'm going to Winn-Dixie.
Man, Winn-Dixie's chicken
you're going to Whole Foods for mental health.
For people watching, yes, I definitely for mental health.
Winn-Dixie had a brand of raw chicken called like Green Witch Farms or something. Their chicken wings, those are the best goddamn chicken wings I ever bought. I used to buy them every single football weekend and grill them up. You know, and they tasted so good, and goddamn it, I lost my Winn-Dixie. It became some Asian market.
All the Winn-Dixies are disappearing.
And when I went into the Asian market, this one up here, this is my Colonial one, there's a lot of stuff. Like, they're cutting fish's heads off in front of my daughter. It was very aggressive.
Pretty sure Winn-Dixie, isn't Winn-Dixie, like, the name itself pretty, like racist, and doesn't it mean Winn-Dixie, like the Mason-Dixon line? Winn-Dixie, you want the Southern half to win. Winn-Dixie.
You're looking too far
I
into
don't
it.
think that's...
That's not it? I used to tell people that all the time.
I don't think that's what it is.
I thought it was Chinese for poor people.
Now, Old Dixie Chicken, which was
in the Pine Castle area.
A chicken, a cartoon chicken wearing a Confederate soldier's hat. That's a little more racist.
They changed the hat now. It's a Florida state flag now.
Oh, on it?
Yeah.
But it's still a Civil War styled inspired.
Yes, it is.
Wait a minute, chicken. I remember you were racist. You can't trick me
the
now.
chicken's like, hey, different time. I don't say retard either.
Exactly.
And chicken's like, hey, you got to grow up sometimes.
Look, that chicken is goddamn delicious, though.
So, I mean, anything.
I used to look at that chicken, I'd laugh, and I fucking laugh. And their chicken was good
It's so
as
good. Now it's just a food truck, so you gotta follow them on social media
Man,
to
I
find out where
can't do
they're at.
food trucks. I don't like eating in front of people on a fucking ironing board. Fuck food trucks. Fuck them all. I hate them.
So,
there's a couple in here from my next story that got busted.
Everything, well, the paying thing, everything will probably, especially like big corporations, will make it easier. So it's just going through your phone, going through your hand, so you're not going to be using a card anymore. Right?
My phone.
I'm down with that.
hand.
I would be to make life easier, and I'm not for big government at all or anything like that. I'm all for having like a little tiny microchip that just whatever you need. And like,
I got it. My phone.
No way.
My hand.
Okay. I have
my
nothing to
brain
hide.
chip
I have
and
nothing
I scan.
bad to like. Why not? Like,
You think that now until the government decides it's
to
bad
do what?
for you.
Yeah, the government's already fucking us
Fuck
over,
that.
so I'm okay with them fully fucking us.
Yeah.
I'll cut the chip out like Arnold did in Total Recall.
Pull it out of your nose.
I'll pull the chip out. But by the way,
This is so big. How is my nostril expanding this large?
yeah, where was it? That it was the size of a fucking.
in his brain.
It looked like a ping pong ball. It was a ping pong ball that somebody put one of those fucking those fake tea lights that my dad bought. He just thought he's like, it's romantic for your mama.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Dad, those are corny.
So, but my wife's card gets compromised like once a month. Like
Yours
it's so
does too.
ridiculous.
So
yeah, I
let's
know.
not pretend it's just her.
I know. It's
I compromised.
I'm so tired of it.
They said these hand identifying things. It says, according to it's accurate within 1/10,000th of 1%. But before they relaunch it, they wanted to get it to a 1/1,000,000th of 1% before it's launched. So I don't know what those numbers mean, but they sound.
It's way more secure than a credit card. Like your credit card seems like it. Like because my wife's like, well, how did my card get taken again? Like my wife's so paranoid about it. Every gas station she goes to, she pulls on the fucking credit card thing to make sure.
I give it a jiggle too. Yeah.
Hey, is that how you check? What is it? Loose?
The ATM, because it's like
off.
a cover that goes over top of it. It's
No
like
way.
an insert, and so if you just
I
jiggle it a little bit, I don't know. I mean, it's probably a placebo.
I usually
but
just light my boogers on those things.
You're so gross.
I don't have to touch that. My wife's touching it. My wife's jiggling
That's
it.
what makes my life happy is I drive away knowing that someone is actually touching my snot after I left. That's how I get my happiness. Oh, and then I leave a jungle sticker on there too sometimes.
Oh, by the way, Tom takes a lot of hits on this show because he's very, very open. I just want to remind you guys that I have to be open as well to kind of offset it. My dog, Caesar the dog, is getting up in age, and he barfs in the middle of the night now. But before he barfs, he'll go make some sort of fucked up noise to let us know he's about to barf.
It's a barf alarm.
And then my wife picks him up and then has to run him to Maisie's tub. We only have one. We only have one tub, and Maisie's the only one that uses it because I'm not a cowboy, and there's no need to use it. He barfed in the tub, but then he also when she set him down, he barfed a little bit extra. She tried to run him to the toilet to barf. Apparently, he barfed into the toilet, but there was some food that he had barfed out. It was like wet dog food because he overeats now because he wet barfed dog food on the toilet seat. So then I get up in the middle of the night to go take a piss, and I walk in and I sit down, and about 9 to 12 kibbles of wet dog food stuck to my ass. So there you go. I just want to make sure.
Did you go home and did you go yell at your wife for that? Like clean that shit up?
She was sleeping. I had to wipe my ass and then wipe.
She's the one that had to get up and tend to the dog.
Thank you, Sam. And then I had to wipe the dog food off my ass. And then if you're going to ask me if I showered or wiped it with a wet, I did not. I just pulled my Old Navy boxers up and went right to bed.
No wonder you're short.
I love Caesar too, but Caesar would be sleeping in the fucking bathroom.
That's what I said to my wife. I said we got to keep him downstairs now. But
it's his last
she has been morphed.
I'm dealing with that bullshit too with my dog.
She's been morphed into more of Crystal's way of thinking now because they hang out and they talk more. And now there's no way. I even told my wife, I'm like, he's sleeping downstairs now. He can't come up. He can stay downstairs. We'll make him a nice patch and everything. Put a fan on him and everything.
You're making him a deathbed. That's sad.
No, not a deathbed. I mean, keep him alive. Is my bed
My
a
dog
deathbed?
wouldn't put up with that shit. He would cry and scratch the door and everything to get into the bedroom.
Caesar's he can't walk up.
But he wouldn't cry downstairs?
He might, but I can't hear. My door's shut.
I forgot you got 17 floors.
I'm like, Alexa, play Oceanside.
My house is not that big.
I play whale sounds at night.
Daniel,
I do thunder night storms.
I do Oceanside.
Daniel goes to sleep with dog crying sounds.
Alexa, play Dog Cries for Vomit. Dog Cries for Vomit from Spotify.
All right, what's the next story?
Let's do some local news. Speaking of the food issue, 13 Orlando restaurants shut down for roaches, rodents, and sewage backup.
Oh, my.
Oh, my.
That happens a lot, right?
Yeah, apparently. Well, a state inspection of Little Saigon. I'm gonna drop all these fucking names.
Damn it!
Hang on, I'm gonna do them all. Hang on.
Drop
a state inspection
easy. Check our sponsor list first.
of Little Saigon found rodent droppings, but the restaurant staffer contended it was just rice that was old and fell over the side.
Oh, what the hell?
I believe him.
Just old rice.
Just rice. No, that's.
Don't do impression.
Oh, come on! I'm not allowed to do impression. There was one of 13 That was one of 13 restaurants temporarily closed for health violations that included roaches, rodents, sewage backup from July 31st to August 28th in Orange County, Osceola, Lake, and Seminole counties. Okay, here we go. The other restaurants were Popeyes on Cypress Parkway.
I'm not drinking from Popeye.
You know they've requested to bring your own buns to the Popeyes to get chicken sandwiches now?
But it's cool also not the actual chicken, it's the chicken tenders. They got a whole... They're trying to make this a joke because they fucked up royally, but I appreciate their effort of trying to make it funny.
As many chickens, there, they can't get enough chicken?
It's a different kind of... Like, it's not the strips, it's like a patty-ish...
A breast.
It's a boneless breast that they don't have... But most of all, they don't have any of the buns. Like, the bun distributor they had, they ran out of them. They have to remake them all.
I mean, they're a giant corporation. Can't they just make as many buns as they want? Right?
Well, they buy them from like a separate distributor.
Yeah. But I mean, can't you just source that out? But like, all right, who else makes buns?
They want that specific bun.
It won't taste the same, but who cares anyway? They should all close.
What else?
How dare you?
Continue, Popeyes. Go.
Yeah.
Nature's Table on Airport Boulevard.
Yeah.
Shocking.
Nature's Table is usually in the mall, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot in like corporate office buildings.
You walk by like a Nature's Table, like whenever I'm mall, like if I'm at the mall and I walk by the Nature's Table, I look at those people, I'm like, well, you're bored. Because nobody wants to fucking eat you.
Also, your mascot should be a stump, right? Right? I got something there.
That's probably one of the first things you said.
It's Tom Van, hippie comic.
No, this table should be a stump.
Yeah, feel free to use that as a stand-up comedian.
Is this a fork or a twig? I don't know. Same thing.
Golden Dynasty on Whisper Lakes Boulevard.
All right.
Some Chinese place.
I'm starting to see a chance.
This one kind of shocked me because they were one of our sponsors, but I did have a podcast.
Whoa.
No, mine.
Okay.
I was about to say, watch your mouth.
No. Mayfair Country Club in Sanford. You know Mayfair, the golf club?
What?
No, really?
Who goes there to eat?
Well, let's
Flat golf.
Is that where we were?
God damn it, Seth!
Oh. Moving along, Rosati's Pizza Pub in Mount Dora.
Listen, hold on. So, we need to vet this before Seth starts talking.
All right, hey.
This is the guy you wanted for news.
I'm gonna name him to you right now, and you tell me if I can say him or not.
Quit saying it!
No, there's nothing else. I swear,
picture.
I know the rest of these. There's no way that I never heard him once on your show.
You don't listen to the show. You have no idea.
Exactly.
Every time you come, you're like, what show is this for again, bro? And I'm like, you've done it for fucking...
All right, let me just name two that are... You don't have any food trucks, right? Sponsors?
No.
Okay.
Not yet. Go ahead. Continue.
Grill Express?
No!
Gorilla Express.
Grill Express.
Grill Express.
No, I'd open one
They
called
sound
Grill
like they'd have
Express. That'd be
bugs.
cool.
Yeah.
And Burrito King.
Never heard of that.
Also
one.
sounds like they'd have
Here's the
bugs.
thing.
never heard of
I
that one.
assume that, like, okay,
Urban Hibachi Kirkman.
everybody, you know, when you're a restaurant and
Say
you
with an
serve
accent.
food, right?
Yeah.
Mimi's
So
Kitchen.
you have your general, like,
Wait, I know that one.
cleaning like routine, right?
Yeah.
And so you do that every night, but I assume that like some people, you know, your employees may
Well,
be
you're also in
lazy some
Florida.
days.
Where I think we have a concentrated amount of rodents and roaches just based on our climate. And just they basically we're like subtropical, tropical.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
like-
So then you may have that. So then I'm sure that all these places every once in a while do a deep cleaning or whatever, like every week or whatever. But so I imagine that if you catch any restaurant on a bad day, like say maybe the night before, the cleaning crew or the employees didn't want to get out of there, they left some, and you find some roaches. Like, what is the?
No, my Smoothie King never had anything. We were so immaculately
You're
clean.
making smoothie.
You're jacking off. I don't care about a roach. I care about the goddamn.
I wasn't serving right afterwards.
I care about the owner jacking off in the fucking back room every day.
If the inspector had a black light, you would have been shut down.
I'd rather have one roach. If they said, like, hey, what would you rather have? One roach or the owner jacking off every day?
Well, here,
my semen is very healthy and
Here
clean.
from Juan, who is a chef. He's worked in food service, more than he probably wants to even admit. He says we had an entire bathroom backup during service at the old. I'm not going to say the name of the restaurant because the grease trap got clogged with tampons. This stuff happens everywhere, but what matters is fixing it. He is
Have
correct.
you ever heard that story where they sent Juan in there to clean it out? It was like waist deep in shit.
Okay, but for that story, you see it, you close yourself, and you handle it yourself. You don't let it keep going till the health inspector comes and just magically catches you.
No,
so that's bullshit.
But the health inspector,
of course things go wrong. And yes, of course I had fruit flies on my Smoothie King, but I took care of it.
You don't know when you're going to get inspected. If you get inspected, they'll point out certain things. You like Seth saying, you shut down, you close, you fix it, and you open back up. Yeah,
there's no excuse for rodent droppings.
It's pretty normal.
Shut it down. I assume myself, I don't have that high of standards that every restaurant has some rodents and some insects.
Absolutely.
It happens in my goddamn house. You know what I'm saying?
Every
I live
single
there
one.
with my kids. You know, like I saw a roach the other day, and then you get it taken care of or whatever. We live in Florida.
We have shit flies in here.
Yeah.
And I've been asking Butler to get rid of them, and
now,
they've gotten. We have more of them now.
And here's the
than
thing:
we've ever had.
I kill as many as I can. Sir.
Me
Sorry.
too. But when I slap them, they bleed.
And the reason
they're attracted to the sweet bean smell.
Yeah, I think they are.
And the reason why we have these procedures is like the inspectors go, they're like, "Hey, fix this." They fix it, and we're all better off. You know, it's no big deal. And if it continues to be a problem, they shut you down.
Yeah,
you know,
agreed.
So that's it.
A lot of them are repeat offenders, though. Just so you know.
That's true. There are those, but they will be shut down. There's a process.
Sorry.
All right. Next. Next story.
I usually pull the mic away when I burp, but I didn't that time.
Yeah, we know.
Okay.
God damn it!
Did somebody die again?
Super bad when I see it. Look at him.
That was just the thought of it that makes me.
Oh yeah, we know.
No, I mean the thought of you guys knowing that I laughed.
An elderly man fell off a roof to his death.
We know it was the thought of it. I didn't think it was the words that made you laugh. It was the atrocity you're about to read makes you laugh because it happened to someone that's horrible. Go ahead.
Jared Wilson, a pastor and a mental health advocate, kills himself. A U.S. pastor known for his mental health advocacy has killed himself, church officials say. Jared Wilson, 30, he worked at the 15,000-member Christian Fellowship Church for 18 months before ending himself.
Where's the punchline?
Mr. Wilson and his wife founded the Anthem of Hope. It's just so fucking ironic, I'm sorry. The Anthem of Hope, a program created to help people with depression.
Stop it.
From his wife's Instagram. My loving, giving, kind-hearted, encouraging, handsome, hilarious, give the shirt off his back husband went to be with Jesus last night. You know the truth of Jesus, and I know you are by his side right now. Shortly before his death, Mr. Wilson tweeted about officiating the funeral of another woman who was thinking about ending her life. Jesus-loving woman who took her own life. He said, loving Jesus doesn't always cure suicidal thoughts. Loving Jesus doesn't always cure depression. That was his last tweet.
I'm doing news next week.
My God.
That's heavy.
Okay, no, it's not.
Why the fuck would you choose that story?
It's not funny.
Did you read it and be like, this is hilarious?
No,
bro.
I chose it for two reasons. Not because it's hilarious.
Hey, Jeff, come look at this story. He's like, it's funny, right? I'm going to do this thing at the show.
I'm sweating so bad. No, I chose it because of two reasons.
This almost gets me harder than revving my engine under a bridge.
I chose it for
so hard right now.
Can I explain why I chose the story, please? For two reasons. One, because it was super ironic. I mean, come on, like you're somewhere where that advocates mental health, and then you end up taking your own life. Just and plus it's to bring light on mental health and stuff.
Yeah, good back pedal,
anyway, no, and secondly, I just think it's just hilarious how some Christians believe that it's in the Bible. You end your life, you kill yourself, you're going to hell. Your soul is damned. You're going to hell. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's written plain black and white
for sure.
Oh, I don't believe that. But the people who are his wife, who is a huge Christian, now believes that he's with Jesus and everything's la-di-da and happy. No, the truth is you really believe that he's in hell being tortured for all eternity. I'm just showing you how ridiculous religion and their thoughts of that are. It's just sickening.
Now, most likely the guy probably was helping people with mental health issues because he was dealing with.
Of course, that's like me majoring in psychology because I'm a fucked up guy. I get that.
It's like most of the rehab people, the people that work at rehab facilities are former addicts themselves. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of them relapse and go back, and then you're like, oh, this person was giving people therapy for heroin, and he died of a heroin overdose. So of course, because he was a former heroin addict. You know what I'm saying? That's how usually it works. And I think. I wonder if there's some sort of study that. No, you're kidding. What did you think? Did you think you were going to sail by
and tell people to settle the fuck down? Everybody, look. If you disagree with one thing, then legitimately everybody starts like, oh, well, this guy's a fucking piece of shit. Settle the fuck down, please, for the love of God.
Silverback Seth.
No. Oh yeah, you can follow me. That's fine. You can bring all the hate you want to my Instagram. I don't give a shit.
And I forgot his email. I wish I would remembered. I would give it out.
Look, if I was if I was I'm a karate instructor, MMA instructor, if somehow I go in the cage and I got knocked out in some crazy way and I do end up dying, it's very ironic, and I think you guys should all laugh. Exactly. I'd have no problem with everyone making light of it and joking, because that's how I'd want everyone to be happy. I want people to be sad and miserable and depressed.
I will get killed in the ring.
You don't want everyone to be sad, miserable, and depressed, but you end news on suicide. I don't know.
I'm not gonna.
No, what I'm saying is,
look, I will say that I've been to many a counselor, and some of the most fucked up people later that I found out have been the people that were counseling me at the time. I can think of one in general when I was going through a horrible breakup and anxiety. Actually, right before I met Andrea, I was being counseled by a guy that was like basically suggested to me by my mother because he was a pastor. And so I'm being counseled by this guy. Meanwhile, I find out while he's counseling me on me being cheated on, me having a horrible relationship and things going wrong, that he's telling me all these things that are supposed to help me get through and navigate the pathway better. But he's cheating on his current wife with a family. I found that out while I was being counseled.
Everyone's human.
I wonder if
exactly.
By the way, the irony story will be that then Butler will be reading it, Big Tim or Chris Fisher. It'll be like former MMA fighter Seth Petrozelli dies of cancer from too many MRIs.
Yeah. That would be the one.
Then you guys could laugh as you're reading it.
I
have no problem.
I wouldn't raise my fist in victory like Tom just suggested.
No, honestly,
if that happens, I will. I'll be sad.
The laughing for this one, in all honesty.
Dude,
Guys, honestly,
gave him the cancer. I don't know.
Me laughing was just the thought of you guys always think that I'm going to laugh, and just makes me think of laughing, so I laugh. There's honest.
Of course, you don't need to justify
No,
it.
I am, because of course there's nothing funny about somebody killing themselves.
And I know you know that. That's why I always laugh.
Let me explain myself. Leaving a family behind, that's fucking disgusting, and it's sad, and it's horrible. So me laughing was honestly just the thought of you guys expecting me to laugh, and then me getting in my own head, and I can't stop fucking laughing. It's just the way I deal with it. I was at my grandfather's funeral, and I found a cricket on the ground looking at me, staring at me, and I started laughing at the cricket, just hysterically laughing at my grandfather's funeral. So when I get around death,
my grandson's laughing at a cricket.
Yeah, no, he was dead.
I told you shouldn't have started fighting. You got hit in the head too much.
So I just find things during weird times to laugh. That's how I handle stress.
Did your nose start growing, and did this cricket lead you on a bunch of adventures?
I wish.
Did you end up at an island where you were
smoking cigars with donkey boys?
Jesus Christ. I just laugh at inappropriate times. That's how I know you do. That's how I handle stress.
That's why when I see feedback and people want to go all in and be like, well, you're a piece of shit. I'm like, no, that's not. I know Seth well. He's not a piece of shit. Look, I get it. Like, we all, man, I laugh at some fucked up shit too. If everybody watched me laugh at some shit, then you'd probably have a different opinion.
Listen, everything is fucked up. The whole world, everybody's fucked up.
We make fucked up jokes on the show all the time.
Yeah, listen, if you.
That's why I say settle down.
Just settle down. Yeah, it's fine.
Just have some fun.
Nothing that Seth says is going to affect your life.
You laughing at a cricket, though, is really funny.
Well,
that's something Butler would do.
Because I thought that it looked back at me, and I was like, what the fuck's going on here? And I just started laughing.
Exactly. He's like, I'm your granddad.
Kind of. That's halfway what I thought.
And then you...
I'm the MRI cricket.
You take care of it like the Green Mile. Oh, here come the bees. Anyway, last one.
I got one.
All right.
I'm sweating.
You're
very professional. All right, so
you got a little bit of hate and you got scared, little baby.
No, I don't. Shut the fuck up.
Be a man.
I'm just sick of people being so goddamn sensitive. Pisses me off. All right, spilled coffee forces a plane to divert over the Atlantic. This is for me and you, Daniel. I did this for us.
Oh, God.
This is why it's not irrational to do some stupid thing. A passenger aircraft with 337 people on board was forced to divert in February after a pilot spilled coffee on the control panels.
Oh, come
UK
on.
investigators say.
They're not waterproof?
Imagine, exactly. They can think something stupid like that.
I imagine those switches to be like military grade. They should be waterproof. It's not like
just like a boat.
I remember when Dan Stone, a lot of you guys don't know this, but Dan Stone one time while working at Real Radio dumped an entire coffee into the board.
Oh, yeah.
A whole cup of coffee, like a big one. And it fucked everything up.
No, but the engineers were pissed.
Oh, man. And if it had been anybody other than Dan Stone, they would have been fired. But that guy's so talented, not fired. He's.
But I bet it was a big pain in the ass, right?
Well, I bet he got yelled at a little bit, but and it was an accident, like things like that happened. But that to me is inexcusable. Like those aircrafts, everything should be military grade, and you should be able to literally have Riley Reid come in there and squirt all over it, and it still runs.
Well, it goes back to remember the joke of
hashtag Riley Reid.
In every horror movie or haunted house or whatever insane asylum movie, there's always some big red button that opens up every jail door. It always gets hit, and it's like, you hit the red button, it opened up everything. And I'm like, why even have that? Don't even have that as an option. So if you spill coffee onto the controls of a plane, and it fucks it up so bad that that you have to turn around and
what
go
do you
back.
think the guy was like?
Then don't even allow drinks in there or whatever it is. Like have some like don't even have that as a possibility.
Do you think he was like, uh-oh? You know, like when he did it, like.
I'll
make up for it now.
It didn't crash the plane.
Well,
so.
no, okay, so the Airbus A330, which is a huge plane, it's flying from Frankfurt, Germany to Cancun, Mexico, had to land in Ireland.
That's a long fucking flight.
Yeah, it is.
So it said that this is because the pilot's audio control panels, it started to flame and melt, and there was smoke in the cockpit. They had to use oxygen masks to land the plane.
Oh, imagine if you
crazy.
Imagine if like all of a sudden you hear some rustling and then you look down the aisle
and
then
I see them.
And they open the cockpit door to the smoke and then they got their oxygen mask on. I bet you guys would lose your mind.
It happened to me. Like the oxygen masks fell, or oxygen masks fell when
Did you
I was.
put it on yourself before you put it on?
Well, I know it was just me and my mom and my dad. I was 19 and I was coming from Roanoke. That's the story that fucked me up from flying.
Yeah.
All you got to do is watch one oxygen mask fall that's a legit one that's needed, and you'll be fucked up for flying. Anyone would be fucked up
before,
for flying.
and I had an engine catch on fire, and it just made it worse.
Although somehow, like,
I was fine. I was completely fucking fine. Had been on so many flights to Virginia. Spent half my fucking childhood flying to Virginia.
Trip mushrooms one time on a flight, you'll be fine. All that kind
No
of,
way.
That's fine.
Yeah, but somehow it's more scary to me that the pilots are wearing the oxygen masks.
Yeah.
Like,
why can't we?
Because nobody else can
right?
fly that plane.
Yeah, because then I'll be like, well, I'm like trying to pry open mine. I'm like, they got it on.
Can we get a better mask than just a fucking yellow Dixie cup with a strap on it? Can we get a nice mask?
Yeah.
I mean, you guys pump all this money into it.
I want Top Gun.
And you're having you're having to recall all this fucking shit, and you're going to put a fucking Dixie cup up there? I want a real. I want the same one you're going to put on that old man who fell out of his golf cart at Walmart.
The airlines have so much money, there should be a parachute for each person on that plane.
I agree. 100%
And not to, you don't have to know how to use it.
But
it doesn't matter. At least
seeing a bunch of fat old people scattered.
Yeah, whatever. Even if you don't know, it's a better chance of survival than not having it.
I don't know.
Can you imagine my grandma
First, you're going too fast. First, I think you would break your arms off from the speed you're going.
I'll whip my arms back and forth.
And then
I would curl into a little Sonic the Hedgehog ball and then try to protect myself.
You
from
really did.
And then if you're not, I mean, any skydiver will tell you, if you're in some sort of crazy free fall, you're not steady face down. Like if your back is, then you open your parachute, it's like, it immediately goes and covers you totally, and then you just rock.
At least I won't see my impending death. I would have it covered.
Well, I'd rather have the pilots try to land it or save me.
I think I'd rather just buckle in and then have, like, I'd just start drinking as much liquor as humanly possible.
I'd start swinging.
You know what I mean? Like, you start beating up all the passengers.
Yeah, I'd say that's when I get upset on the plane, I hit my leg hard as I can, and that's the only thing that makes me feel better.
Well, start punching yourself. Don't punch the innocent meemaw next to you.
No, I duck her head and just pound the seat or something. It's the only thing that
you're punching the meemaw, and she's like, at least I have a husband.
I would probably.
You might hit me, but I know what love is.
And that's 3 digs on me so far. This fucking.
Well, the wizard like it. They've turned against you because you're suicidal.
They turned against you because we have a high concentration of listeners who are suicidal preachers.
Yeah, honestly, I would probably start laughing uncontrollably as the plane goes down. It's funny.
We have to bully you.
I hate flying. We're dying.
Now, Seth, you understand? We have to bully you until you back to equilibrium again. Until I feel bad enough to be like, stop, leave him alone.
I know.
Yeah, he's had enough. He's punished now. We like the Saudi princess. We have to beat you up and then humiliate you.
Yeah, kiss our feet. Which would be hard to get Seth to do because none of us, even if we all attacked him at once, we had no chance.
Nobody in this room could. No, all of us against him wouldn't happen.
No,
my finger's kind of bad right now, so you might be able to.
No,
dude, I saw
wouldn't even need your fingers. You could just do legs only, and you'd still beat his whole.
I saw you toe kick a baseball bat in half.
That was weird.
It was like if you hit someone in the head.
You watched it?
Yeah, angry toe. Yeah, man.
The first one I edited it because that was the second attempt. The first attempt, I fucking hit it and slipped, and it hurt. That was the worst.
Could you grow
Wait,
your
so you hurt
toenail?
yourself the first time and then you did it a second time?
Yeah,
right after that?
it's called
Fuck that.
It's called having I don't know what the word is.
Hey, could you grow your...
It's called having stupidity.
No, it's called having, I don't know what the word is, stupidity.
Exactly. That's why
that's the best sentence I've ever heard.
I found the word I was looking for.
Could you grow your toenail out?
Slipped off.
Could you grow your toenail out and sharpen it down to like a point?
Dagger?
Yeah, or could you wear a toe knife and like really start fucking people up?
I have an Indonesian toe knife.
What is it, strapped to your chew?
No, you don't strap it. So it's a I forget the name because I haven't used it in so long. It's a curved blade, and then it has two little tiny mini knives that you pull out. That one goes in this hand and one goes between your toes. So you use it like, like this and stuff. I swear to God, and I grip it between my toes and I can like kick.
I know you could.
If this was Game of Thrones, I would have Seth versus Rhinoceros, Indonesian toe knife fight, and then have him just kicking around, and his toes get him crazy. We're cheering, and then like finally gores him to death, but then it dies from exhaustion. We're like,
yeah, we don't care.
That's
what people used to do. Hey, there's a hanging down the street. Let's go. We run down there. This guy's getting 1, 2, 3. Hey, watching that. Hey, another pint of grog.
I have diarrhea.
I have diarrhea too. We all have diarrhea.
Dead.
Oh, there's a witch burner. Yay.
Better time.
It was a better time. Your whole weekend would be like, instead of, what are you doing this week? I'm going to New Smyrna Beach, or I'm going to fucking Fun Spot. I'm going to Gringos. Yeah, what are you doing this week? Well, there's a witch burning, a couple of hangings. There's a fucking rhino versus toe knife.
There's an Indonesian knife fight, toe fight.
There's killing a bunch of people at noon. I have for some religious reasons.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, let's take a break.
More funk. I'm doing it. I'm giving you the funkiest music I can find. This is Tim Carmen and the Street 45s. Yeah, this goes. Name of the song is Dangerous. We'll be back with more Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan right after this. 1-844-TOM-NDAN. Maybe we'll take some calls. So jump on the line. We'll like to talk to you guys. We'll be right back. My heart has a door and it's only open for you. It's got a precision garage door and I lift it up. I want to make love to you. Stupid. Got a piece of letter stuck on my teeth. It was killing the mood. I was trying to sing a sexy song about precision garage doors. And here's the thing. I know you're not going to believe me when I say this, but if you had a precision garage door, you would agree with me in that it is the sexiest garage door you can have.
Yeah. If you still have an old, like if you have the garage door you bought your house with, it's old, rickety, loud
as hell,
and not Wi-Fi, just get a new motor. Get the silent package. Me and Daniel got it. Seth Petrozelli, our buddy Tony Rage, my neighbor Francis, tons of people I know got the silent package, and if you ask for that, just tell them you heard it on Tom and Dan.
New roller sleeves. I mean, these guys have been doing it for I don't know how many years Precision Garage Door has been in business, but I know they have over 80 locations all across the country. And one of the coolest things is that we have a hotline. I know Tom's been real big on letting you guys know, like, look, you're going to get better treatment because
personal service.
Yeah, because you know us. Write this down. 407-710-BDMS. That's 407-710-2367. When you call that, you're going to get Big Tim. They're hiring again. They need service techs, installers, office staff. They're a growing company. I mean, people have houses, and houses have garage doors, and boom, there you go.
If you need a brand new garage door, which can be expensive, Precision Doors offering 5% off any brand new door. Just tell them you want the Tom and Dan hookup. But again, get that Wi-Fi. So when you leave the house, if you're like, did I leave the garage door open? You could just go to your app and check. And if you did, you could just push close.
Well, my
anywhere
wife
in the world.
Had to do it yesterday. I was leaving, and I thought I closed the garage door. I hit the button, and then just drove off. And then my wife texted me, did you close the garage door? And I was like, that's fucking good. Seriously, I was mad because I looked at my app, I did not close the door, and she did it for me. It's Precision Door Service of Central Florida, 407-710-BDMS. Call Big Tim.
You're gambling again, aren't you?
I promise, I'll get it back. There'll be more than enough for bills next month.
Yeah, I've heard that before. I can't live like this anymore.
All right, I shit the bed last week. Blew it. Here's the thing. Out of the 6 bets I did talk about, I lost 3 and I won 3. But all my straight-ahead spread bets, the Pittsburgh, that was stupid.
Did you get the email from our buddy Lil Red?
Yeah, there was like, I'll bet against you every week.
He said, Lil Red says, just wanted to say I reversed the first bet I heard Tom Van recommend on the podcast with no research on the Pittsburgh-New England game last week, and I won $440.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, get him, Red.
The thing is, my first instinct is always square. It's always public. Like, it's what like the sharp bettors bet against the public.
Right.
And so I fight myself constantly because I'm like, oh yeah, this makes sense. So anyway, we got past the first week, which is always the hardest, apparently, from these podcasts I listen to.
Hey, man, whatever you got to tell yourself.
Yeah.
So let's get into it. What do you got this week?
Okay, so first off, a lot of people I've been listening to like Detroit +3 against the Chargers.
Okay.
There's a couple reasons. The Chargers have a bunch of injury, and there's also this weird statistic where if you win week 1 and then you're a road favorite week 2, that statistically it's the huge disadvantage to you.
Okay.
So basically the Chargers are going to Detroit and they're favored 3 points. So it's Chargers -3. So I'm taking
Not
Detroit.
a lot, right.
Detroit +3 in this game.
I can see that.
That's what a lot of these gambling podcasts are
I
taking.
like how you're passing the buck a little more, too.
Well, the problem is I feel like it's false for me to tell you that I did some sort of handicapping and stuff. I'm just taking all these tidbits.
You take all the information. It's like a recipe, and you put it together into a stew.
And what makes the most sense to me. So first bet, Detroit +3. Second, Rams -2 at home.
Okay.
I won't go through all the handicapping, but a lot of the sharp bettors like that. Third bet, Chicago, Denver, under 20 first half. It's a lot of people think it's going to be a low-scoring game. Chicago's offense looked horrible. Denver is statistically in the first 2 weeks of the season has a really good record. For whatever reason, a Mile High Stadium, the altitude, whatever, it's hard for teams to acclimate themselves.
Yeah, they do well.
Anyway, lots of different sharp bettors are like the under in this game, but especially the under first half. And then my tease this week, I want to tease Arizona up to 19 and tease the Jacksonville Jaguars up to 14.5. Those are huge spreads now. The teaser, if you tease both those teams, it's -120. I'm betting on that as well.
Okay.
I like getting all those points in both those games, even though Big Nick Foles is out. His backup quarterback, apparently in all the betting world, isn't that bad and is a downgrade, but this spread got jacked up way too high. So I'm teasing it higher, and same thing with Baltimore versus Arizona. Baltimore killed Miami Dolphins, annihilated them.
It was bad.
And then now a lot of the sharp bettors think the spread's a little too high, so I'm bumping it up higher in the teaser. And here's a new thing. I called, of course, this is brought to you by Market on Magnolia.
I love that place.
I called.
Hey, I think maybe we might, some of our fantasy crew might be going out there
on Sunday
to watch some football. I'm going to try to make that.
Yes, if you're going to go out there on Sunday, I'm starting this new thing. It's called the Tom Van Beer Bet. Right? And one of our brewery partners, Cigar City, agreed to this with Market on Magnolia. So every week...
Thank you for choosing good beer.
Yeah, I know.
Thank you for...
Talked to Justin the other day.
Oh, yeah, man. Cigar City's a damn fine beer.
So this beer bet is every week I'm going to make a bet on a team, and if I lose, and if you're at Market on Magnolia, you can choose one free Cigar City beer. So you can get
that's fucking stupid. Yeah.
So
this is awesome.
So this is my beer bet, and it's the most. I would never put money on this because I'm so afraid, but I'm taking Miami Dolphins +19, the worst team in the NFL. But at +19 has gotten to a college spread at this point.
That's huge.
No gamblers really want to touch this because they don't know how bad Miami really is.
Tom Van will touch it with his beer bet.
Well, my beer bet. So if I lose this bet and you're watching the game at Market on Magnolia, Magnolia. I'm going to text Pete. He knows the deal.
Yep.
And so if the Patriots cover the spread, you can go up to the bar and order
an expensive-ass beer. I love it.
Order any Cigar City beer
free.
you want for free, and it's on my tab. And that's all the Tom and Dan listeners. So go out to Market on Magnolia. Watch the games at 1 o'clock. They got tons of TVs, huge bar.
Yeah, 35 TVs. They've got chopped salads, subs, like handmade subs. They've got pizza out there.
Decon Poke.
Poke bowls are out there if you want to go a little healthier.
So take your family. You got plenty to choose from between pizza, subs,
every game,
Poke bowl.
every style food you can imagine.
Full liquor bar.
Apparently now free beer. I'm counting on it. I'm counting on it.
So the beer bet is Dolphins plus 19. If I lose that, you can go get a free beer. Anyway, thank you to marketonmagnolia.com.
There you go. See, going funkier this week. It's funkier music. Welcome back to A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan. I am Dan.
I'm Tom.
Samantha, our producer's here. Butler, our sales guy, is here. Seth Petrozelli, our news guy, is here. Eric is here, hanging out, drinking. Or am I allowed to say that? Or you're on the clock, buddy? Got a fresh shirt on.
Shooting up.
Not to
robbing people.
Not to be a downer or anything, and we'll talk about some emails and stuff. I just dawned on me, I wanted to talk about this. Do you guys think, like, because my wife has really been watching what's, like, happening with, like, the Bahamas relief and stuff.
I can't watch it.
It's so bad out there, like, and for anybody that, like, hasn't looked or whatever, like, man, shoot whatever you can to a good charity that's going towards these people.
Actually going towards
Yeah,
because there's a lot of shit ones that...
You know, vet them. I mean, there's some good ones online that you could find easily through Google, but, man, it's really bad. Like, it's wiped out some islands where literally they can't live there, and it's bad. But I was thinking, I was like, you know, usually when something like this bad of a disaster happens, like there's the worldwide, everybody in the world kind of gets together because it's so bad.
Mr.
Right?
Worldwide.
Well, I'm just saying, like,
I'm sure he's throwing some money.
Yeah, he should. He's Mr. Worldwide.
Well, for instance, like
Tiger Woods and Justin Timberlake just donated like $1 million.
Yes,
right?
yeah, and I think
Disney cruises,
everybody,
Norwegian, a lot of the cruises have
now
Billy's Cruises.
There's
they did. They kicked in
Sun Cruise Casino.
I have this theory.
Sun Cruise Casino kicked in a hard $500.
But
so drink package.
I have a theory that do you think that now?
See, I'm going into nervous land. Can you feel it? I'm going there because I don't like this shit. I have been watching it, Tom, and I'm not as tough as
No Joke Friday. Let's get back to
I know, but I'm not as tough as your wife. And when I see it, when I was reading the article about the sea of bodies, and I'm like, oh my god.
Okay.
No, but what I was going to ask
I'm
you
not
guys
laughing. I'm not laughing.
is, do you think that
Don't make me laugh.
there's a lot of people around the world that aren't like paying attention to it or donating as much or whatever? It's not a bigger charity, and I don't know if this is true, but like other things. Remember when like the Haiti earthquakes happened? I feel like more of the United States rallied behind it, and I had this theory. I was like, do you think because the Bahamas have been marketed to everybody as this paradise, and all like unless you've been there, like we've all been there so many times, we know we live in Florida, but like people in the Midwest, like anybody that's not been there, all they think of as the Bahamas is the beaches and like the marketing. You know what I'm saying?
But why would that make a difference if the whole island got destroyed?
Well, no, they don't think about day to day.
They are not thinking about.
They don't think about houses. They don't think about infrastructure, schools, and that people
and the
actually
poverty.
live there. Yeah, they don't think about that.
They have extreme poverty in a lot of the island and the houses and stuff like. But in like I think people think of that in Haiti. So when the earthquake happened in Haiti, they're like, oh my god, like I know the mental image of Haiti is in my mind has been marketed to me as one way, so I feel bad because it's bad over there. I think maybe that there's a little bit of people that are like brushing this off because in their mind, all they know of the Bahamas is like, oh, beautiful beach.
Or people call them gang members, and then people have a skewed image.
Bad hombres.
I just don't know.
You need to change the name of Haiti to Likey.
Well,
or Lovey.
Yeah, Lovey, Likey.
I just think that
Thumb Uppy.
All like in their mind, people are like, oh, the Bahamas is just a bunch of beaches and palm trees and stuff. Like they're not thinking like, oh, of like a city of poverty.
The images, though.
They're online, but that's really all they know of.
Yeah, but they see all the fucking houses that have been destroyed.
True. Yeah.
I mean,
I just don't know if they're quicker.
I don't feel like mainstream news is covering it the way that they Yeah, I honestly see more coverage for last night's Democratic presidential debates than I saw about how
that's what it seems like
brutal.
they're more pushing that than
there were like telethons and shit for Haiti.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
I think it's just less of a push by the not Florida. We're so close that we see a lot of it, but I think like the Midwest and like people around the country just aren't as interested because I think Bahamas have been marketed towards them as one way so long that they're like, oh, they'll be fine. Like they don't know about the masses of poverty and all these like the houses that have been destroyed. They see the images, but they're like, it's the Bahamas. I don't know.
I'm not making this political, but we're also a little more self-centric in the way that we look at our country because I think of the current political climate. Like I think everybody's looking inward, like don't let people in. Yeah. So obviously our outward look is going to be, I think, a little skewed, a little less.
But it has reached like a worldwide kind of like attention span because I mean, for instance, I have my aunt and my uncle live in an obscure town in France. I mean, they were talking about it and how there is actually a local relief depot for them to drop off stuff to some of the Bahamas in France.
We'll give them this cheese. We'll give them this wine.
Is it when there was a fire?
Our dog street's full of dog shit.
In Notre Dame, they got to $1 billion donated pretty quick for a fire in an old church with 0 people were hurt.
Right.
And so
where are those people now?
Yeah. I'm just like when the goddamn.
I mean, the Dutch and the German are sending huge ships out to Bahamas right now.
I just wanted to say it. Anyway, there. All right.
Are we going to do something?
Yeah. Let's do.
No, are we going to do something for the Bahamas?
I would like.
I think we do a concert with the Tom and Dan band, and we try to raise as much money.
Butler's on didgeridoo.
Yeah. What are you? You're a drummer.
I can do drums.
I'll play bass.
You know what I got?
Well, I'll be lead singer. You can play bass.
That's all I know.
I'll do lead singing.
Can I be in this band?
Yeah, you can.
Tambourine. Oh yeah, you're flute.
You're the flutist. We're going to do it at the bar out back. And we're going to do it on the concrete stage there.
Brought to you by Dan Newland.
Yeah, it all brought to you by Dan Newland.
Then there'll be a weird lawsuit after. Don't talk about it.
Yeah, don't talk about it. That's all true.
Anyway,
whatever happened with that?
I have no idea. Let's do some mail on mail.
Please hold for your mail on mail intro coming in 3, 2, 1.
Hey guys, thanks for calling 1-800-HOT-DICK, the place to find real action with real men. To make it even better, we've got new low prices. So low, we're practically giving it away free.
If you are a man seeking a woman, press 1. If you are a woman seeking a man, press 2. If you are a man seeking a man, press 3.
Mail on mail.
Mail on mail brought to you by Johnny's Other Side. Samantha told me that Johnny's is extending their other side roof so that the whole thing is covered.
He's pumping some money into that place. Yeah, it looks dope, man.
So right there with the beer shack where you can get $3 craft beers all day, every day, they're making it a little better for you. And especially right at the right time because it's about to be perfect outside to hang out at Johnny's Other Side or Johnny's Filling Station, best burger in town. They've been a sponsor of
I could go for Johnny's burger.
And they weren't on my list either.
Thank you.
That's good. It's a little shocking to me, but I'm like,
it's a good thing. All right.
I was listening to ACT, The Great Frog Caper, talking about bunkers. I do not know the owners, but Google the Mount Dora Catacombs. It is a bomb shelter built back in the 50s by a wealthy doctor for his family and friends. It's still there in the Sylvan Shores area of Mount Dora. The entry door is in a shed. My dad and I spent some time a few years ago trying to determine which house it was and trying to find a connection to see it. There has been several urban explorers who have been able to go down and tour it. Maybe another listener has a connection, and you can all go down there.
Yeah, I would love to show. I would. If
anyone
anybody
has a connection to the catacombs, let us know.
Yeah, we don't want to do anything weird, and we certainly don't want to blow up your spot. We just want to
podcast. Yeah, might jack off down there.
Yeah, we just want to go down there and jack off. So. Yeah, let us
one at a time.
Yeah, let us know.
Butler's been down there for 2 hours.
It takes him a long time. He's
38, man.
He's the second oldest.
So some doctor built it for like the end of the world.
I think they pooled from what I'd read. It was a community
Oh, yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah, that sort of pooled their resources and said, I think he might have spearheaded it, but they pooled their resources and then created this bunker so their families could all live down there.
I'm surprised and maybe there is, and maybe Samantha could look it up, but I'm surprised a company or someone hasn't come up with some sort of way for you to pay monthly for a shelter.
They have Generac or whatever that company was that they rolled out those commercials during the hurricane. There was going out of power. They'll come to your house. They'll build a generator on the outside of it. They'll keep your home safe, from the weather. I mean, it'd be no different than that. Mm-hmm. It's just a bunker, right?
Although I didn't know about that company, and I thought to myself, they're gonna they're dead all year, they don't do shit, and then all of a sudden they get 10 million calls in one day when you know what I'm saying?
I think it is Generac, right?
Generac, they're huge.
How are they able to?
I want a Generac.
They make generators for a number of different things. It's not just for your home.
Well, I know that, but I'm saying
this is just a generator on the outside of your house. It's not
but it's like
after
one of these,
30 seconds of your power going out, it kicks on.
It kicks on. It does everything itself. And
do they specialize to come out to your house and right before the storm hits?
No, it kicks on. It automatically isn't as soon as your power goes up for 30 seconds, the generator will kick on.
It's just a full house generator.
Yeah, but they'll basically size it up and they'll tailor make you a generator based on your home specifications.
Yeah, okay. I thought you meant it was a company that specifically right before hurricanes hit, they specialized in just drop you rent a generator and then they take it back.
That's not a bad idea.
That's what I thought you were talking about.
Yeah.
Is there such a thing as that?
No, there could. Well, why there could?
You might need to cut that out because that's actually a decent idea.
Here is why I thought about it high already. You start your company. You're like, all right, we need a lot of employees because we're going to high demand when the storm. Then you have to sit and wait with all this info, and then when the storm hits, you get 10,000 calls you can't handle.
Well, no, it's a secondary business.
It would have to be,
right. It's like me. A lot of people don't know this, but every December I do a Christmas tree lot.
It would have
supplement my income because things here, they're not as good as you guys think.
How many generators do you think you'd have to have on hand to do
that? That's what I'm saying.
1,000 generators,
because you would get
probably 1,000,
so much volume of calls in such a short time that you wouldn't be able to even service it, and then people would be complaining.
You start small. You start out at a hundo and then you build. You don't go.
Yeah, but the problem is that if you have a hundo, you get 100 calls, and then everybody else is pissed off. You're like, I'm sorry, we're out of generator, and then they're like, fuck it, and go on Yelp. You're like, fuck this company, and then
Google review. I would do it.
What was the thing? Oh, what I was saying is,
what just happened?
You pay money.
I think he just had a stroke.
I think
Happy Friday the 13th.
Wouldn't a lot of people pay monthly? Because no one wants to, you don't have the land or whatever. You can't build your own shelter. But, just paying for the insurance to have, if there's something went down, I could take my family to this shelter that I pay monthly for. I'm surprised there's nothing like that.
There's shelters downtown Orlando.
No, I'm talking about bomb shelters into the wall.
I can do that with my basement. I just have to limit out about 25 people. I'll do that. I can fit 25 people in my basement.
Yeah, but
you probably will by the time you die.
Yeah, but is it stocked with provisions?
I'll stock it. I'll do that right now.
That's where the bat came from.
Toilet down there?
No, I'm talking into the world.
I have asbestos heater down there.
Oh, no.
I need to get rid of that thing.
Burns asbestos?
Let's
voicemail. All right, this is my voicemail of the week. Okay, you'll like this.
Hey guys, in regards to the Discord thread, the NSFW one or the mediocre one, I can't remember which one it was. I think I was a little bit traumatized because, the dicks weren't too bad. There are some pretty ugly dicks, but the thing that had me a little bit shook was when I was scrolling through and I saw one dick and two people sucking on it, and I saw one was a woman with long hair and then one had a beanie on. I was like, why the hell did this chick got a beanie on? And then her face turned a little bit towards the camera. I was like, hey, wait a second, that chick has a fucking goatee or a Fu Manchu. Oh fuck, that's not a chick at all, it's a dude. And it was like, what the fuck, man? This ain't what I fucking signed up for.
Why
Anyhow.
You don't think dudes suck each other's dicks?
Yeah.
Don't be a baby.
Don't be a goddamn baby.
Yeah.
Also, women can wear beanies. I don't know why you thought that was.
Women can have
That's my favorite because
you just keep on scrolling.
Yeah, if you don't like, if you're not into it, you can keep scrolling.
Don't kick shame, bro. This guy wanted to get his dick sucked by his best friend and his wife. There's no shame
in fact,
in that.
me and Daniel,
we talked about this.
We talked. It's a better life if you.
Yeah, it is. If you can
enjoy,
be totally free, it's a better life.
I mean, think about how many times you can get your dick sucked if you don't care who's sucking it. You have a lot more options.
If you and I were comfortable enough, if I was stressed out, I'm having a fucking day, and you walked in and you were like, "Hi man, I know is your anxiety high today?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm just dealing with a lot of stuff." We go, "Oh, you want to suck your dick?" I mean,
relieve some stress.
I mean, we would never do that, but if we could do
It'd be a better life.
it's a better way of living. Like, so I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys and act as if it's not a better way to live, because I'm not skeezed out by that at all. Now, when I did see it, I went, "Whoa!" But it wasn't a bad whoa. It was more like, this motherfucker is living. You know when people use the stupid phrase, they're like, living my best life?
Yeah.
Nah. That motherfucker's living his best life. Y'all don't know what you're doing. This guy's living his best life.
Because Frank and his old lady better than just the old lady.
Now, where it goes shady, though, where it goes sideways is when you're laying in bed at night and your wife's like, "What's wrong?" And you're like, "I like Frank's blowjobs better." That's when it goes sideways.
Well, Frank can give her some tips.
Yeah, then she would be like, "Just get your blowjobs from Frank." Then that was what my wife would do. Like, fine, I will.
Fine, I will get it for Frank.
Frank swallows.
That guy was a huge contributor to that page too.
Yeah. But no, Daniel's 100% right. If you can just get your dick sucked by anybody and you like whoever did it, then it is a better way to live.
It's a better way to live.
Statistically, I'll argue this 100% because logically I'm correct.
Yeah,
you can't argue the logic. No, you're not. You could argue the fact that you don't like that or whatever, and that's fine.
Also, that is what you signed up for, sir. It was uncensored randomness on the internet. That is what you signed up for.
I'm not into dudes, so it doesn't work with me. But if I
work as far as you wouldn't be able to get,
it was 95%.
Yeah, like
me neither.
Yeah, like Tom.
I could not suck Daniel.
I wouldn't be able to get hard.
I'm not at all anti it. I'm just saying.
Hold on.
I can't get hard with certain women, so it's apparent.
Hippos, yeah, we know.
No, but here's the thing. You're a human being. If someone starts sucking your dick, like say you have a blanket over your head, someone starts sucking your dick, you're going to get hard.
No, mentally I'm thinking of who it is. And
what if you didn't know? But what if you did not know?
I already know.
Like glory hole scenario.
Of course, then that's totally different. Okay. But once you know, it's in your head, it's in your mind, it's in your psyche, so you know. And it just...
But what if... Okay, let's say it's glory hole scenario. It's the best blowjob you've ever had, and then the wall comes down and you see it's a dude.
I'd be like, that was a great blowjob, dude. Thanks for
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Could you keep it up? Could you keep it up still incomplete?
No, because then it's in my head.
That's logic, and that's fine. And that's, people are into whatever they're into. Men, women, both. Yeah. I'm just saying, you have a lot more options when you're into both, right?
Yeah. I would watch other people do it and jerk off. That's different. That's hot.
All right. Well, look, it's like if you're at a pub, and the dartboard's in front of you
say something more gay than borderline maybe like the homophobic Dave.
Because to me it's simple logic. It's like if I'm throwing darts at a pub and I have one dartboard in front of me, I have the chance of hitting the bullseye. But if the whole wall is the dartboard, there's a lot more. So hats off, or maybe or beanies on to the
beanies on.
Yeah, I mean, like when I saw it, what was the first thing I said when I came in here? I said, look, when I saw it, I went, whoa, but I said, this motherfucker, that guy's living his best life. That guy's, out of anybody on that fucking page, that guy parties. Y'all motherfuckers that just show your dicks, amateur hour.
Also, don't be
that motherfucker party.
You see it, you're like, oh, okay, keep on scrolling. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you're like, oh my God, I'm traumatized.
No, I watched it twice because I wanted to confirm. And the second time I watched it, I was like, this motherfucker's, he's happy motherfucker.
My pop went to World War II. Totally fine. He wasn't traumatized by shit. You're traumatized by a little video.
Your pop-up watched one of his best friends get his knees blown off. And you can't watch a guy suck another dude's dick. That's a happy thing. Yeah. It's not a bad thing.
You're not a real man if you get traumatized by a little dick sucking by a dude. Yeah.
I agree.
You're a pussy. Anyway.
Yeah, if you can't watch two guys sucking each other's dicks, then you're a fucking pussy.
Now, you may not like it, but if it traumatizes you, then get out of here. All right, go ahead.
Hey, everyone.
How was that?
I tried to get the doo-doo fly.
First thing, I love you guys in the show. I will never cancel my BDM membership, so you're welcome for that $5 a month.
Yep.
Literally so worth it.
There's one.
Are you guys considering interviewing or cross-showing other podcasts that are outside of the podcast mafia and time suck? I'm not hating in any way, but I don't know how many podcasts are doing episodes with other podcasts when they come to their town, and I feel it's an excellent avenue for y'all since you have both ACT on actual radio and your app. Many a live podcast comes through Orlando. I was looking forward to seeing the guys from My Brother and Me before Dorian fucked that up. This is a high rambling, but fuck it. Emails are free. I love you guys and everything and anything Tom and Dan related. Stay safe during the storm, and I'm hyped for this 10-year anniversary. I love you guys, especially Tom. That's a joke, Dan. You care so much about anyone and everyone. You're an amazing human being, and Maisie is very lucky to have a father like you.
Oh, wow.
My parents separated when I was 5, and my stepdad is a pretty excellent individual. I know there are so many people who are not fortunate enough to have a good father figure in their life, and I'm so glad to hear you and Tom talk about your families. You guys are seriously so amazing. Here's the thing. We try and book a lot of podcasts that come through here. It never works out.
Yeah.
Either it's because they're in here one day and out, like they're in the town for one day and out, or what. It just never works out. There's been plenty. Like I tried to get My Favorite Murder. I tried to get a lot.
We
of
might be able to get
last
last podcast on the left because they're coming to Hard Rock. I think
we'll try.
So. Yeah, so we'll try, and I know they have a connection with our good friends from Pete and Pete. Remember when they came in? They work with those
and that's
guys.
the other thing. A lot of the comedians that come in here, they all have podcasts.
Yeah, but you know what? You know what's funny?
Well, not
is
all
that,
of them,
like,
most of them.
Who was the comedian that was in here? Or wasn't in here? He'd been in here before. Corey Holcomb. He has a podcast. Yep. It's supposedly a relatively successful podcast. And he got kicked off Twitter, got kicked off Instagram, and he was coming into town to promote not only his comedy, but doing his podcast. And his publicist basically told the Improv to tell us that he won't do podcasts.
Well,
and I'm like, but you've got a podcast. And now, I'm not saying that's him talking. It could just be his management talking.
Sure, yeah.
But to me, I don't think the podcasting community elsewhere in the universe is as tight-knit and as fun as what we really have here in town.
That's
like,
probably
we're a little spoiled because we have a lot of podcasts in town, and 99.9% of them are awesome fucking dudes, and they're down for whatever. But I don't think you're gonna get that when they get too big.
Well, I think it's because probably just like you said, in other places, like his publicist has been trained or manager to like not accept him doing interviews with podcasts because they have no idea how big.
Could be rinky-dink, could be shitty or whatever. You know what? I get it. It didn't offend me at all, but I laugh because
he's been in here before.
I told Charette, I go, he's been.
But he doesn't know. The publicist manager, he probably had no idea. He just goes and does his media, and then he had no idea.
Yeah, but they'll do radio, which okay. I mean, do it.
Anytime like a major, and a lot of listeners will email me like podcasts that are coming into town and they're like, hey, you should try and book these people. I try.
Yeah.
It doesn't work out.
I don't know if anybody else has this title, but I'll just go ahead and say it. You are the podcasting queen of Orlando. You are. You go on the podcast, you listen to the podcast, you have the podcast. I mean, if anybody knows what the fucking's going on in podcasting, it's Samantha. So I appreciate it when people email you. We'll try to get the last podcast.
I take all suggestions, but it just doesn't always work out.
We will always try because if there's anything Tom and I will geek out on, and we did it yesterday with because we're having some meetings. I don't even. Am I allowed to just say what that is? About our contract with the?
No, okay. We'll tell the BDMs.
Yeah, we'll tell the BDMs.
Wait, what?
But anyway, but we had some meetings yesterday, and we will geek out. Like if you want Tom and I to geek out on some, just ask us to tell you what we think about podcasting, and then you'll end up 4 hours later. You'll be wishing that you had a guy with a beanie sucking your dick. You'll be like, God damn, these guys won't shut up.
You know what I think it may be? It because a lot of these podcasts, they may not need any extra promotion for their shows.
A lot of their shows are already sold out
because when they go to nowadays
they know where to go because they can look at the map.
Yes, they're like, and I've seen it happen with for instance,
there's one podcast I listen to. They're only doing 5 dates, like live shows, and they're literally only picking the top 5 most downloaded cities.
You know why they're doing that?
That's it.
Because they're fucking brilliant.
Yeah. And so what they're doing is, like, I've seen it with the fantasy footballers. We interviewed those guys on ACT one time. Now they're huge, but what they went on tour and did, like, and a lot of these podcasts go on tour and, like, just to make money because you sell tickets or whatever
and merch.
So they'll, like, just tell their own audience, like, hey, we're going to be in Chicago or New York, whatever, and their own audience will buy all the tickets, and then they'll just go. They don't have to do this traditional media like back in the day. Well, that's the reason all the stand-ups are like the club has a relationship with the local media, and then so like sometimes they advertise with them and stuff, and then so when the comedian comes into town, they get with the club owner, and the club owner sets them up with the local media, and the driver takes them around. It's the same. I
remember the time we sat in the other studio and showed comedian and podcaster Dan Cummins the map on our podcasting hosting site of where you could see the majority of people coming through the United States, and his eyes lit up, and it was like, oh shit, now I can pick where to take my comedy tour and do a live podcast.
Because I can find out who's downloading the most.
Why
it's
wouldn't
easy.
you? Why wouldn't you? It's brilliant.
And I bet a lot of these podcasters are jaded by mainstream media, just like everybody gets. Look at us, and they were like, "Oh fuck, I don't need to do any media because I'm my own. I'm like, all I care about is my own listeners, and I'm telling them to come here. So who cares? I don't need to advertise it to people that don't listen. Why? Like no one that doesn't listen is going to come to my show. Only my listeners. Yeah. So I'm just going to tell them.
But
like it's weird.
But I think that's not
crossover. Like listeners from you would listen to them.
That's what I was going to say.
That's just common.
I think
sense.
if they think about it logically, it's not necessarily just coming to the live show. It's hey, I could get a new listener for my podcast from listening to
this
one.
They may not be in that mindset where.
Well, then they're in the wrong business.
You're right. And
you're trying to get new listeners all the time, right?
Yes, I imagine everybody is, but maybe they're at the point where like, okay, we don't need to do any of the media and don't even need to market ourselves here because they deem it as like such a small thing and a waste of time. I don't know. There's got to be a reason because they would have the or
if they're not familiar with your podcast, they're like, fuck it.
And also think about this. I bet they tried, and if they called radio stations or whatever, like, hey, this, what was that murder podcast that was in town?
Small Town Murder.
So Small Town Murder. They were in town, and it didn't work out scheduling wise. Samantha was talking to their people, and we were going to have them on here, but they were in and out so fast that a lot of times these guys like they fly in day of, and then they got a couple hours.
They got to do their show, and then they leave. After the show.
But I bet you if they made some calls to like local radio stations or news, they would get blown off because I bet they didn't even heard of them.
Probably. Yeah.
So think about it. You got these radio DJs, and we know how stereotypically they are. They think their shit don't stink and their ego, whatever.
Yeah, that's true.
So then they hear some Small Town Murder podcast, by the way, which probably has 10,000 times more listeners than they do, or whatever it is, like at least 100 times. And so they're by far more popular nationally.
And they're quantifiable. It's not like you're dealing with, diaries and fucking peepers.
And they have 2 podcasts. They have Small Town Murder and Crime and Sports.
Oh, right. I forgot they were doing that.
So meanwhile, they're both
fucking comedians. So they're everywhere.
Yeah, they're giant. Yeah, they're bigger than any local radio station. But what the local radio station got is the egomaniac DJ that crosses his arm and they're like, I don't know, never heard of those guys. Fuck it. Like I'm not interviewing them, even though
I opened Papa John's all across Orlando.
So they probably run into that so much that they're just like, oh fuck it, I'll just market to my own listeners. Meanwhile, like we'd be interested in talking to them, but we're probably a dime a dozen. And they probably also realize that if they're going to waste their time by doing super small podcasts that no one listens to, you know what I'm saying? Because they don't know.
No, it makes sense. No, I get it.
You can't find out other people's numbers or how popular they are. The only tell would be like social media or whatever.
Agreed. Here we go. Here's mine.
Hey, please hire Seth. He's fucking hilarious.
There you go. Got to give him some love. You save those. You got to give him some love.
That was
it.
That's one out of a bunch of bad. You know how many bad ones we had to filter?
I deleted the bad.
Seriously?
No.
By the way, that was the guy with the beanie on.
Yeah. Totally would suck your dick, bro.
All right, I might change my mind.
Hey, Tom and Dan. I'm watching the Tracking Hurricane Dorian special on whatever the fuck channel this is, and just saying, Martha Sagowski got them big old titties and the duck lips. It's pretty good.
Yeah, surgery will do that for you.
Yeah, some filler.
I love duck.
See ya.
I love duck.
Okay, dude was getting drunk. He left one more. I'll end with this because he had to call back.
Follow-up message regarding Martha Sagowski. One more comment. God damn!
Drunk and horny.
Get it together, sir.
Got to do his snacks
Jacking
early.
off to the news.
I will tell you that there's a certain allure, at least personally, to like a professional businesswoman. I've always had this.
Guess who's talking to old Martha Sagowski again?
It's like a
my ex-wife
D.
ruined that for me.
Oh, yeah.
She was a professional businesswoman, but I went south.
Whoa! You all right? You all right?
No, yeah, that's fine.
So
she was just very headstrong, like I was.
And you
very
didn't
business
want
sense,
that.
I was just
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I thought
had a
I
brain.
did.
He didn't like it.
Yeah, you want a weak.
Handmade.
There's difference between being.
Where's your white?
There's difference between being arrogant, bitchy, mean, and a strong woman. I'm all about a strong woman, but there's a difference between being insufferable and strong. There's two.
Calm
things.
down, bro. You've been divorced for years.
Who are you trying to convince? Us or you, man?
Someone hasn't gotten over it.
No, I'm
Jesus Christ.
no,
Wow.
that totally.
Next thing you know, you're going to go out and buy a fucking fast car to compensate.
I just have all this money. I have no one else to spend it on, so might as well spend it myself. So
Give
fuck
it to
off.
the Bahamas, man.
I actually have donated. I'm not gonna lie. I've donated lots of stuff.
What'd you donate?
Money.
Oh, come on. Free karate cross.
I always donate. Every time somebody pops up on those Facebook things, donate to my charity for my birthday.
Help, we're dying.
Go
teach you karate.
I was good at that.
So, Seth, let's plug your gym real quick.
Yeah.
What do you got there?
I got to get my daughter a little gorillas classes, right?
I know, yeah. I think
I got to do it.
Yeah.
I think she would like it.
And why not just have her do it for a couple of days?
It also teaches discipline, right? I mean, there's like a certain level of like you got to follow the
courtesy,
rules.
courage, humility, integrity, self-control. Teach all those nice little things to the kids. That's very.
I'm seriously going to pitch this to my wife tonight. I think she would like it.
And Coach Felicia Spencer, UFC fighter, everyone knows.
See, that's what.
That's my daughter's coach. I'm
that's your
definitely
coach.
fucking doing it.
Felicia coach me.
I thought once she got rich and famous, she stopped doing that.
No, you made her. Nope.
She also said,
"Hold on, you." I'm pretty sure she's surpassed the jungle at this point. She's
What? Me and Mike are.
She's a UFC superstar right now. Like,
and she's soon to be my daughter's coach.
Dana White loves her. Yeah, like I mean,
I got to get my. What if my daughter becomes a serious, like a contender MMA fighter?
We have 4 or 5. We have 4 or 5 little gorilla instructors. She's the head instructor, so she's there all the time. She's the main one running it all.
Yeah. See, because I like my sons being instructed by her. No offense, Seth, but I don't know how good you're around kids.
That's why I'm actually really when I'm in a professional setting.
Hey, Max, come here. Farted on you.
Hold on. One time I was working out.
How many shit piles can we shit on top of each
There's
other?
3 Seths. There's a Seth that's at business and at work and at the jungle.
All right.
And there's a Seth that's on a podcast and.
Plays it up.
Plays it up.
I don't want to blow up your spot.
And there's a Seth that's at his house having fun with his friends and eating butt.
Shits on shoes.
No, that's real Seth. That Seth is kind of a downplay of the podcast Seth, and then the jungle Seth is the upstep of everything. Is the
You sound like
most
Kramer.
respectful.
Kramer has different variations of him. You know what? I must be a fucking weirdo because I got one guy. I got little Danny dumbass.
And I got the Seth that talks to the cricket a lot.
Talk to the cricket a lot. He's squishing his brain.
I don't want to blow up your spot, but when I used to work out at the jungle, I was taking a piss, and Seth came out of the goddamn stall with his dick tucked behind his, like, fucking, what is it? What's that movie?
Silence of the
Lambs. And he was like, ooh. And I'm like, God damn it. And then,
that's just because it was you, dude.
Okay.
Of course.
Put this beanie on and suck my pubes.
I only did that because it was you.
Everybody's laughing. He's like, he's doing it again. And the alarm went off and balloons fell. It was like the 1 million TikTok.
What?
The 1 million TikTok. That's the name of the show.
That's the name of the show.
Right.
So it be said, so it be done.
Samantha.
Can I JungleOrlando.com?
Felicia Spencer can teach my daughter?
Yeah.
Dude, that would how cool would that be?
Yeah.
And Felicia's so sweet. Well, unless you're fighting her, and then she's not sweet at all. She's
and she's
an animal.
a great coach.
But she is so nice. I could see her.
Yeah.
I don't know why that. I know you've said that before, but I don't know why that didn't register with me. I would love to have maybe taught by Felicia.
Yeah.
She's
great.
so kind, but she'd also teach her. She needs the. The regimen.
Yeah, very regimented.
Yeah, it's got to be. She needs that, and she. What I've learned with May is she thrives in that structure. The more she's structured, the better she does.
Plus, she's athletic.
She is an athlete.
Help her build some confidence for that rain too. So
yeah.
Seriously, I don't know. And then junglelander.com
or she'll be punching the rain.
Or she'll hard to do. trying to choke out the rain.
Well, there's still a guy in. There's an old war veteran that punches the rain into land. He walks up and down the street. You got.
And then follow me on Instagram at Silverback Seth for all your hate mail to me.
No, you're not going to get me. Come on.
Or nudes.
Semantics.
SemanticsPodcast.com. This week we have Pariah Mike and his wife Lisa from the Fort Airwalk podcast.
Love
We're recording tonight, Friday the 13th. We're bringing their spooky asses in. We'll see what happens.
That's either a good choice or a bad choice, because I know he probably has something.
They're
up
gonna
his
prank me
sleeve.
for sure.
Yeah,
I know it.
Yeah, he likes to fuck around.
Travis, what's going on with the watering holes?
We got a few things going on tonight.
Wrong with the water?
Going on tonight. We have Blue Springs Brewery. It's actually shut the fuck up.
Friday.
I didn't stutter once on my news this time.
Suck his dick with a beanie.
Friday, September 13th, tonight, we have a sneak peek of a Blue Springs Brewery. They actually have two different beers that are actually going to be premiering tonight. We have a Trails and Pass, which is a 5.2% cream ale, and we have Common Airs, which is a 7% American ale. Get there. It's from 5 to 11 p.m. There's going to be partying.
Awesome.
There's going to be some live music. There'll be some food trucks. Don't worry about it. Daniel hates that, so don't go to the food trucks.
No, I can't do it. Everybody else, the normal people can do it.
I love a food truck.
I just don't like standing outside eating off of an ironing board. My wife's like, it's so kitschy, it's cute. I'm like, it's a fucking ironing board. You know what's better than this? Every restaurant.
All right,
even the ones with roaches.
Tomorrow night at Celery City, we have a Run Raquel, I guess.
Oh, Run Raquel Run.
Yeah,
We've had them in here.
Exactly. Energetic 4-piece rock band from Orlando. They take the stage at 8
Did
p.m.
you really just hump? He goes on energetic rock band. He humped a little bit.
They take the stage at 8 p.m., but keep an eye on the rain because there's supposed to be some shitty weather, and Celery City's outdoor stage is where they're actually going to be at. And then we have Mets Lounge 1. Every Saturday, they actually have from 3, it starts at 3 o'clock, and then kicks off at 4 p.m. They have online league dart play. So they have no sign up necessary. They actually play for money, so there's a pot you can win.
Awesome.
They match the pot. And then,
I love Mets Lounge.
More importantly, Mets really wanted me to push. They have the NFL package. They have every hit, every win, every game.
Yeah.
They also offer free food for the entire day on Sundays for all their NFL games.
And it's a real bar.
Go out there, check them out. It's on the oceanfront. You really can't meet it.
Yeah,
Joey's
that's a
amazing.
great spot. And is this online darts, and you're playing against other people?
Yeah, so you would actually, they have the digital dartboard games, where you're playing, and you could be playing somebody in Oregon that's actually in your league.
That's fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah,
what a time to be alive.
I know, right?
You're playing fucking online darts, you're getting your dick sucked by your best friend.
With a beanie.
Doesn't get any better than that.
Is there any truck beach races coming up?
Keep the darts in his beanie.
Come over here, I need a dart. Ooh, that feels good.
All right.
We've done the Lord's work today.
You know what I would like to do, and I don't know if it's possible, but since we've made a lot of jokes, I'd love to talk to that guy about doing that.
With the blowjob?
Yeah.
Yeah, if he wants to tell us about it. I don't know what he's saying. It's awesome.
Yeah, what else do you say?
And go to break.
Honestly.
You know what? We don't need to talk to him. He's pretty awesome. I get it.
Well, maybe
I think I'm just jealous that mentally he'll never be there.
What if it's like it's not good, bro? What's happening?
It had to be good because he posted it.
Yeah, that's true. But we couldn't see his face. Maybe during his wife, he was like, and then during the guy, he's like, whoa, I don't know.
Maybe it's too awkward. Like me. He's like,
maybe he's got the
But you're the perfect guy because you wouldn't stop. Like, if your wife and I were on her knees and she started sucking it, then I started sucking it, you wouldn't tell me no. You can't even tell the fucking ADT guy no.
True.
I would try to just like, what the?
Watch out.
Lucky for you, I'm on a skateboard. I just swivel over.
I slowly put my hand down to block. I'm like, come on.
I'm like, no, move your hands.
I'm like,
I'm going to do it right. Hold on. I put my tongue in the dick hole.
Oh, in the hole.
Always put your tongue in the dick hole.
All right, guys.
I tell my wife to do it right when I'm about to come. I tell her, put your tongue in the dick hole. And she does
Plug it up?
And I'm like, oh! And I'm like, it's backing up.
That's called the plum thumb. What is it called?
It's called the
plum thumb.
It's called the.
What's that kid that stuck his thumb?
Touch.
There's the leak in the wall.
Little boy blue.
Yeah. It's a little
boy blue. No, little boy blue. Come blow your horn. That's
totally different. Yeah.
So he stuck in his thumb and pulled out a plum and didn't know what to do.
The little
right?
Dutch boy. Yeah, it's the little Dutch boy.
There was one that he put.
Yeah,
the dam. He puts his fingers in. Anyway.
Little Jack Horner.
No, little Jack Horner's put his fingers in a pie. That's so totally different. Don't finger my pie. And guess what? It's shitberry.
Don't order my.
He stuck in a thumb and pulled out a plum. That's
Yes, I knew it was
little
stuck
Jack Horner.
He pulled out the fucking listening device.
I put my finger on little Jack Horner sat in his corner eating his pudding in the pie. Yeah, stuck in his thumb, put a plum. Yeah, what a good boy am I.
Jesus Christ.
It's something like that, I don't know.
All right, let's get out of here. We'll see. Bye.
Oh, wait a minute. I can't publish that. It's mediocre.
And now it's time for the Tom and Dan end of the show footnotes. Today you heard music from
The Night Cafe. From their brand new 0151 album, you heard the pleasantly soulful and fun song, Please. And yes, I'm still on my constant quest to find new yacht rock, and oh yes, nice drumming, my dude, well done. After that, you heard new music from Canadian rock duo Tegan and Sarah. Besides being completely outspoken about social issues and having played music for multiple years, the two are currently working on a book, a podcast. They have their own foundation. Damn it, man. They're doing a lot of good. I need to work harder, I guess. You heard the song, I'll Be Back Someday. Next up, we got a little funky. You heard Tim Carmen and the Street 45s from their self-titled album, and the song you heard was Dangerous. It's times like this that remind me that I fucking love organ played correctly and funky-like in a funky song. This is my pick of the week, and the entire album is good as fuck, so give it a listen. We close out the show with more organ. Yes, more organ, which is what my mom says. That's gross. I'm going through a bit of an organ phase. You heard the Growlers and their song Foghorn. Yacht rockish? Yeah, a little bit. And on that note, I will see you next week.